secret box, so pretty happy with that.
I agree. Sometimes it's better to just get those key cards. Your fifth Seda, some would say, right? But yeah, and then I think, again, Ancient Box, such a great call into this metagame, I think. The great against Lugia, against Gardevoir, against Lost Box we've seen. Is there any... A Raging Bolt as well, yeah, exactly. Is there anything that you are afraid of, though?
I think I'm a little afraid of Lugia. Lugia gained a lot of tricks. It's a deck that's near and dear to my heart. So haven't tested that one. It's one of those ones where I'm like, I haven't done all my homework, but I'm hoping to hit some more favorable matchups today.
That's for sure. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. But I mean, hey, you've already made day 2. You can relax a little bit. Favorable matchups tomorrow. With that, any tips out there for any aspiring Pokemon master?
For any Pokemon master, I think kind of improving your game each day, some set amount of time, and looking to improve one thing really can get you there all the way. I've been playing Pokemon for nearly 20 years. Probably forgotten a lot of stuff along the way, but we're here, and I think anyone can do it.
Sounds good, sounds good. Before I let you go, anyone you want to shout out? I know you have a lot of fans out there.
Yeah, I totally love my friends. I'm seeing the Shuffle Squad over there. My lovely wife, Michelle, who's very pregnant with our child. So our daughter's in there growing, and it's one of those things where I'm just so happy, excited for the future. Shout out to everyone, man. It's one of those things where I'm just happy, smile ear to ear. Day 2, what can I complain about?
Day 2 indeed, and hey, it's the future Pokédex buff, am I right?
I mean, I don't feel like Pokédex get that many buffs, so we'll take whatever we can. So appreciate it.
That's for sure, that's for sure. Again, with that, ladies and gentlemen, Zach Lesage, one of the first players to make it to Day 2 at the North American International Championships. With that, we're going to go ahead and throw it back to the casters for more Pokemon action.
Thank you very much, Juancho. Always love to hear from Zach. Always nice to get a personal shout out. We got shouted out there, Joe. That made me pretty gosh darn happy. And yeah, shout out to the Pokédex. They've got 3 young kids at home. And yes, they are being, shown Pokemon on a very regular basis. They've got cars, they've got plushies. Let's face it, they never took a chance. But one of the things I keep talking about, I want to talk about our captain predictions. Because you know what, Joe? I think I might have remembered to go Miraidon again here, although I do have a little amount of regret in my second one. Well, I almost went unfair stamp on my second prediction. I felt like that was the way to go. I switched in for Tatsugiri at the last minute, and I love that little sushi fish.
Please, I'm hungry.
I'm hungry. Like this.
How nice he is. How nice.
We're doing all the nomadic ones first. We're getting all the cookbooks. Five, 6, 7. Oh, 12. Okay. 6, 7. Let's get 8 through 12. Who's Word Cave? And go from above. Already did it? Okay. If we get on there, can't. Back, let's go this way. Or do that. Oh, yeah, yeah. Dregs. Nice, got it. was quick. Maybe before I do these. Yeah, before I do these, I'll he's down though. Cooking books. And let's get bell bearings, sacred tears, that stuff. That how do I have golden parry, not the spell parry? That's in. I need that. Maybe we get that first. think I know where this is. Then that one. Oops. Farum Azula, last two are in Farum Azula, I'm guessing. Later. Later. Alright, before we go for smithing stones, let's go for... well, the Ash of War I want, and... and Sacred Tears. I think I have most of them, but... this have to be here. Pretty sure I know how to do this.
Bizarre watching a Lugia deck just sitting behind the Flutter main and attacking with it. You know, Elizabeth went through. Oh, what we seen? What we seen? What we seen?
We found counter catcher.
Oh,
Kenny
nice.
can finally use flower selecting.
And we're behind on prizes, so no issue there. Bringing up the Minchino, which is a nice target.
Chorus as well.
Oh, this is good. And we do have Cramorant on the bench. Cramorant will KO the Minchino, does easily enough damage. We'll take an energy off the board as well. Oh, there's some awkward things there. We've got the Prime Catcher, another Chorus's Experiment. You have to take those two.
Yeah. Sacrificed Nest Ball and Lost Vacuum.
Lost
Not
Vacuum,
ideal.
Don't want to lose.
Yeah, well, at least we're finally getting somewhere for Kenny. Going to get a response KO on this Minchino with Cramorant by the looks of things. Going to see an Artisan possibly for Kenny here as well. Weaving in an extra basic. Maybe it's time for just another Comfey. Use your flower selectings while you can, Kenny.
Yeah, we know Elizabeth seems like a fan of that Flutter main in this particular matchup, so I'm not saying she's definitely going to bring it active and attack a bit again, but I am saying it's got to be mighty tempting to do so.
We have plenty of switching cards, so I think it's an easy choice to just get another Comfey in. No, we're going to search for the Comfey, not use it and just swing with a Spit in a Circle here. Kenny with 5 cards in the lost zone.
Purchase it from Pydia.
Into the Flutter main.
Is he here still?
Does that indicate we have a Gusting supporter to bring up a lower hit point Pokemon for Elizabeth, for Kenny's side of the field here and just keep up Flutter main? Yeah, that's exactly what it means, Ross.
Oh, I love this. There was an argument you had energy on so you could retreat, but no, you don't want to be using it as a pivot. You want to be using it as an attacker. KO in the Comfey. And look, I'm not saying Elizabeth has to keep dropping damage onto the Blood Moon Luna until it's got 210 HP, but I am saying it would make me personally feel better if she did.
Even down to 220 now would be great. It opens up Lugia V-Star to KO it cleanly, so all helpful stuff. Even just the 2 damage counters helps with Elizabeth's own Blood Moon Luna, so the map was always relevant for us. We just have to find the right attackers.
Then there is an argument to put on Cramorant to bring that into range of a Flutter main as well.
That's also very true.
More, I mean, at this stage, there's a lot Flutter main can KO yet. Of course, you're not playing infinite Gusting, but you can leave it in the active and make your opponent have to go through it.
More Mist Energy coming onto the board for Elizabeth, prepping multiple Minchino here, so we can deal with higher hit point Pokemon later down the line if required, as we continue to lock out flower selecting from Kenny's side of the field.
Yeah, flower selecting is pretty important. It's literally the reason why the deck works. Being able to turn it off is big. And sometimes this is what the good players do. They take the one-off Pokemon that's probably even meant for other matchups, and you go, you know what? In this particular game, in this particular match, it's going to work beautifully, and it's going to give me a big advantage. And here's the thing, Elizabeth hasn't even done the Lugia thing yet. We haven't seen loads of energy hit the board and lots of big attackers coming in doing big damage. It's literally just been Flutter Mane, and Elizabeth's taken the first couple of prizes here as well.
I think we're just making sure of something. The judges are just debating something right now. So we're just going to probably take a pause in the action and just see what's up. Seems like there may have been a misstep at some stage here. I don't necessarily see anything from my end, but we'll try and let you know what happened in that sequence and why we are stuck in the game. But it seems like we're just going to take a minute to make sure that there is no broken game states. But Kenny, back against the wall right now. Elizabeth should be going up another prize here.
Alright, Sacred Tier time.
Just getting word here, Joe. It seems that Kenny may have inadvertently used Artisan twice during his last turn. That's, of course, something which will affect the game state. So the judges are just having a little bit of a look at that. And there's a lot goes into it, and judges are great, so we're going to let them figure that out. That is their job. Our job is talking about the matchup. So far, Elizabeth and her Flutter Mane, it's going beautifully. It's brilliant. It's fantastic. I thought the Flutter Mane was here for a different matchup entirely. I thought it was to help out against Iron Thorns EX, which ironically some Lost Zone box players have teched in this weekend. But it's just shutting down Comfey beautifully right now. Yeah, it's working, an absolute treat. And the thing is, it's one of those cards where, and we see this in cards time, right? Cards that have a really good ability that block generally don't have a good attack, because if they do, they would be too good. Yeah. So Flutter Mane's attack is what I like to call aggressively meh. Free energy, 90 to the active, drop 2 damage counters. It is frankly far from ideal. Yeah. But if you can accelerate energy with something like Lugia, why not? Yeah. And in a matchup like this, you're getting enough to KO the Comfey. The 2 damage counters aren't exactly necessary, but they're a nice little bonus. And there's enough Pokemon on Kenny's side of the board that are in range of Flutter Mane that Elizabeth, I mean, you've got the first couple of prizes here with the potential to take a whole bunch more. And I love this. Yeah, it's working so smoothly. You get to bank lots of energy on your bench as well, so you're preparing for future threats. And the Flutter Mane is just proving so awkward. One of your main early game attackers is that Cramorant. That's turned off. Yep. You can't get to Mirage Gate because your flower selecting's turned off. So you're left in this situation where we've had to counter catch around it. We still haven't dealt with this Pokemon just yet, and it's still causing huge headaches for Kenny. Yeah, oh, it's all right. Maybe when Elizabeth's taking a couple more prizes, maybe Blood Moon Ursaluna can come in. Oh, no. No, not that either. Oh, no. We're not going to Mirage Gate that twice and turn attack, shall we? We're not at that stage, surely. I mean, I'd like to think not, but it's so bizarre seeing, you know, a one-off tech like this making such a big difference. And like you say, a matchup that might not even have been the main matchup it was intended to be used in. And then Elizabeth's got all of these options, you know, like you say, that Blood Moon Ursaluna's got 40 damage on it now. So that means that we do have the potential for a Lugia KO for 2 prizes. And at some point, the actual main attacker in the deck, Chinchino, might be coming out doing a little bit of damage as well. I can't hear what Kenny's saying, but there's some expressiveness going on there, Joe. Well, I think the good news is that it's Kenny that's made the error in this occasion, and they are quite far behind right now. So it may not even be a bad thing that we just move on to the next game anyway, but we will get confirmation of the situation from our judges in a moment. And it looks like they're getting their instructions right now and resolving the game state, so we should be getting back into the action momentarily. Yeah, when we have an update, we will pass it along. We're nice like that. We want to keep you guys as in the loop as we possibly can. And sneakily here, one of the things Elizabeth's been able to do very nicely, her board is looking good. You've got you've got 2 Minchino down, each of which has an energy attack. They are ready to evolve and start attacking. We've got that Lugia that is a relevant attacker into something like the Blood Moon Ursaluna, now that it's got 4 damage counters on it. So when this Flutter Mane goes down, and it could still be a turn or 2 before it does, Elizabeth's got a bunch of options to transition into, while Kenny is still trying to just get rolling in the game. There aren't that many cards in the Lost Zone, but it does look like there is a Manaphy heading to the active. Kenny has drawn
That's a cool
for his
shield.
turn.
Yeah, so the resolution was the Comfey that was searched by the Artisan was shuffled back into the deck, and a warning was given to Kenny here. So now we are seeing Kenny once again Artisan out the Comfey. That shouldn't have been Artisan the previous turn coming into play. That's why Kenny has led out the Mana Fee in his turn here. Still has a lot of work to do. Is at 5 in the Lost Zone, so a Colress
Match,
could
yeah.
get him to Mirage Gate at last, and I think that will be a huge relief for Kenny.
Yeah, having Mirage Gate and having access to that extra energy and those other attackers can be a very big deal. Your draw is still massively hurt by not having Comfey, but you have options. There is a Mirage Gate hit off the concealed cards of the Greninja there. So now we've got some options. We need...
I think Colress is there.
Pokestop.
There is Pokestop as well. Kenny can bounce his own stadium and see 3 cards. Looking to hit some items, of course. Does hit 2. It's a pretty nice
Some Church,
swing
and you
here.
got Church of
Don't say the right
Inhibition.
hits to discard, but these decks play a lot of Super Rod full 4 for Kenny here.
Oh, nice,
So a
yeah.
random Pokemon
Alright.
discard is not that big a deal.
Here we
I
go.
think Kenny will be able to go ahead in the prize race this turn with this Colress and with Water Energy plus Mirage Gate Super Rod in hand. You can use this Radiant Greninja to take out not only the active and finally deal with this pesky Fluttermane, but also start taking out some of these Minccino from Elizabeth here. So
Yeah.
this is working out nicely.
And here's the thing, right? That seems like it's going to happen. Kenny is going to have had a rough start, bad circumstances, and still have taken half his prizes and gone up in the game.
Yeah,
It's not a bad place to be, frankly.
yeah, this is going to work out just fine, at least because Kenny has accumulated the pieces to work this Radiant Greninja into the mix, especially with this Super Rod grabbing back some energy. Kenny has been using that concealed cards to cycle through the deck all game, so it's going to
My hair goes through.
cards and kind of immediately Mirage Gate them back into play. You can see already, even without flower selecting, Kenny has churned through a lot of cards from this deck just by virtue of Colress and concealed cards.
Yeah, it's taken a few turns to do so, but that's the thing. Flower selecting is absolutely the engine of a deck. There are other options. Hitting the Colress has been huge. Had Kenny whiffed the Colress as well, this game would probably already be over, but that's just about giving him enough speed here to keep in the game. Now Greninja's ready to go. We will need a pivot for the Mana Fee, but that is the switch cart coming down now. And this is going to be a double KO, 90 onto the
here.
Fluttermane for the KO, or even both of them in Chino. I don't mind this at all. This is nice.
Yeah, Gift Energy is going to get 1 for Elizabeth. But we're just hoping that the Fluttermane is just less pesky now, I suppose, and there's just less opportunities for Elizabeth to weave it in, because Kenny's just going to keep throwing higher hit point Pokemon into the active at this stage. So, nice play from Kenny, going ahead in the prize race and nullifying some of Elizabeth's threats in the back. But of course, we can start to see Archeops start loading up, possibly even the Lugia at this stage.
Yeah, Lugia seems a pretty nice attacker. It will take
Ooh,
out the
how
Fluff.
many energy do we have left?
I told you back at the beginning of the
just
game,
one.
Joe, the energy was looking a bit dodgy for Elizabeth because she had a bunch of pride and then a bunch hit the discard
Here.
pile early in the game. We just lost 2 because I think there was 1 on each of them in Chino.
How many
This
does
is
she
something
have
I've been tracking. I'm not sure she's got enough here.
Oh, she just has so many in hand as well. I think 3 in the hand.
That also hurts.
She does have boss's orders though, so she can take out another low hit point Pokemon with Fluttermane, which is important. But you're going to have to start manually attaching to this Lugia.
I will say right now, the attackers Kenny's got on the board are Blood Moon, Ursaluna, and Cramorant, neither of which are actually good attackers, with Fluttermane
Ooh.
turning off their abilities. I mean, maybe there's an option for another Radiant Greninja next.
Just to use Iono. She did just say at the table that Kenny's hand size is way too big right now. So, eyeing up Lumineon V for Iono seems very reasonable. It was a pretty nice Ultra Ball, getting rid of Archeops and Archeops. Yep, it is going to be the Iono. I think this is a good call out. It means you can't really take a knockout this turn. Oh, it's going to be the... Okay, so you can take a knockout this way.
Yeah,
you can
with
jet energy
Lugia.
and cycle 2 energy to the bottom of the deck. You use your second Archeops to access them again immediately. This is a cool play.
Yeah, I like this one very nicely. And of course, the Lugia should be able to tank a hit. I don't think Kenny's got anything there that can KO the Lugia right now. And then you can KO the Blood Moon Ursaluna. The question is, do we have Raikou or Iron Hand available for Kenny? Because either of them would be able
Not
to
knowing
get
another
the
one of these
KO
guys
with
was
that Lightning
here.
Weakness.
I think Kenny's Raikou is getting shuffled to the bottom via this Iono, and I think we just took the Hisuian Heavy Ball off the prizes, if I'm not mistaken. So Elizabeth with a good play here of sending those important cards to the bottom and forcing Kenny to access lots of them. In fact, the hand size is so big, we're going to cut the hand for Kenny here before he sees his 3, and Elizabeth gets 4 cards. And he's going to be also knocking out an engine Pokemon, which I think is also really important here, Ross.
Yeah, taking out the engine Pokemon is always very, very nice. It means your opponent is got that much more work to do in order to actually recover and get what they want next turn. And the thing is, that is what Kenny's going for. We know that Kenny plays cards that can counter the Lugia. We've got the Raikou and we've got the Iron Hand.
Yeah.
So Elizabeth is basically going, I really hope you don't have a way. Oh, well, actually, let me make that more difficult for you.
Correct. When you're low on energy, you have to make your attackers go further. Elizabeth has found a fantastic opportunity to try and weave in this Lugia V-Star. He's also just going to remove lots of...
I went the
dead
wrong
cards
way,
out of
it's
the
alright.
hand. So I think Blood Moon Ursaluna has to be one of your closing
I'm
attacks.
gonna go
at
ahead
this
and
stage.
grab this.
Absolutely, and the thing is, Blood Moon Ursaluna right now will take out the opposing Blood Moon Ursaluna because of those damage. Kenny's ahead on the prizes and has some options, but it seems like Kenny's up to work too hard to get more attackers out with more prizes taken, whereas Elizabeth kind of just seems to have what she needs on the board.
Oh, nice.
Kind of boils down to this hand. I know Kenny is
First try, get that? I remember trying to get that so hard.
We do. Oh, that's a big pickup. The Pal Pad can really improve your odds of hitting Colress from this flower selecting, because we need a lot here. We have exactly switch cards and exactly this one flower selecting to help Kenny get any closer here.
It's a cool moveset, I'm pretty sure.
Colress anyway does not play Pal Pad and still hits the Colress.
If I remember correctly.
That's one of the coolest things about Ino. You know that cards are at the bottom and what's that's still sort of towards the top of your deck. So even putting multiple Colress back into the mix there with a Pal Pad may have actually given Kenny lower odds.
I'll
so it's a
be right
good
back.
play to have paid off by not shuffling your deck, knowing that there were still Colress remaining. Really smart play here, and now Kenny has a good opportunity to get one of those basic Pokemon combined with a Mirage Gate here. We still need quite a particular Colress, but we can work towards a KO of this Lugia here.
We've
It's
at least got
possible.
a chance here, and it's not a chance we had a minute ago.
That Buddy Buddy Poppin certainly has to hit the Lost Zone, right? That was the card.
There
I
is a
believe.
Buddy Buddy Poppin in the Lost Zone. Was that there already?
We'll keep track of that, but it's going to be a Colress either way. I'm pretty sure we didn't play a Buddy Buddy Poppin there, did we?
I don't believe
Unless it
that
was
we
played
did.
just to shuffle the deck, perhaps? Kenny's going to remove a Pokestop and a Super Rod. Did we? Oh, we got Raikou and we got Super Rod here.
We
Can we get
haven't.
Raikou V into the mix?
Depending on something about the maths, now you add up the bench Pokemon, add 1 times by 4 and add a 0 because of the weakness. And that means we're going to be hitting, what's it going to be? 320. So that is going to be A-okay for the time being. With nothing else there, we're going to be hitting 320 damage because of the weakness. But of course, with the Raikou, you're now actually up to 360. So I think we're going to be easily enough damage if we can get the energy on.
We can, yeah. I said we needed a particular Colress, and we hit exactly that. We hit Raikou Mirage Gate switch cards from our top 5. That's absolutely incredible for Kenny, and it's exactly what Elizabeth was hoping to avoid. So this is another big swing in this game. Kenny will be going down to 1 prize card this turn. Elizabeth has the Blood Moon Ursaluna response, but then Kenny would be just looking to hunt down a final prize card to win the game.
Yeah, some kind of gusting would be absolutely good with their own Blood Moon Ursaluna here. So here comes the Raikou, and using that Lightning Rondo, doing a huge amount of damage, more than enough to KO the Lugia here. But it does look like we've got a Pal Pad first. I mean, well, do we have any gusting cards in the discard? Because I want gusting cards right now, Joe.
Do we still have the Prime Catcher available for Kenny? I don't believe that's been spent just yet.
I don't believe so.
So that's going to be a big part of Kenny's end game plan here. That's why it's double Colress shuffled back into the deck for him. Also has the fleet-footed, let's not forget, so can see 1 additional card here before attacking into this Lugia V-Star.
More cards is generally mostly very, very good. So we do see the cut there. 1 more card.
Ooh,
It is.
Roxanne.
Oh, that's a nice card.
That's a great one. Elizabeth can get some gift energy value here, goes back up to 7 herself.
Well, what options do we have? Yeah, I was going to say, the Lugia does need to hit the discard pile here. That's fairly important. So Fluttermane comes active. And what have we got? Blood Moon Ursaluna will return KO pretty easily here. Put Elizabeth down to a single prize remaining. but then does Kenny have enough to take that final prize? Gusting would do it with your own Blood Moon Ursaluna, but Blood Moon Ursaluna does not KO Blood Moon Ursaluna.
Right.
So right now, with 4 damage counters, if Elizabeth takes a KO with Blood Moon Ursaluna, Kenny cannot respond with his, but Elizabeth then could KO Kenny's.
As long as she could move the Blood Moon Ursaluna in and out of the active as well.
Course,
That's
of
another
course.
thing to bear in mind. I only think Elizabeth has 1 gift energy remaining in the deck, so it's still an awkward situation. Does she boss's orders a Comfey here instead? No, you can't do that. You have to deal with this Raikou. You just have too few hit points. Maybe you have to attach the gift energy to the Arceus. Oh, this is a strange end game sequence, to be honest. Things are getting a little bit wacky.
KO is on the board. This is easy. You don't need any energy on the Blood Moon Ursaluna. It's not like Charizard, the Radiant version, where you have to have an energy on there. This is completely free with Kenny having taken 5 prizes, but you cannot use it 2 turns in a row. You cannot chain this attack. You have to take a turn off. So
it might come down to if there's any Jet Energy prized. If there's any that Elizabeth can take from prize cards here, that could really change the situation. What does she pick up? Oh, we double turbo left in the deck.
There were energy near the top there, Joe. There were definitely energy.
I think there
near
were
the top.
some Jet Energy as well. Let's get a scan of the hand. She's having a look now.
There's an energy of some
turbo energy and double turbo in her hand. Either way, it's getting Roxanne. Kenny's going to get a 6-card hand. Elizabeth gets 2.
And, I mean, we're really looking for Prime Catch here. Prime Catch would end the game. That was super easy. Blood Moon Ursaluna KOs something that's broad active. Literally anything on the bench would do. It really doesn't matter. So
6 big cards plus the flower selecting as well. If we don't see it immediately, there's still a chance that we can find the Prime Catcher to close out this game here.
Got decent odds to hit it. There's a lot of cards being seen. There it is, card number 2. And Kenny will win game number 1 in a very tight game. And we're off to game number 2. The series is not over yet. We've used half our time, and Kenny looks delighted.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised. He had such a slow start thanks to that Flutter Mane, but was able to just about piece things together and made a really impressive display there. Kept his cool, still found his way to 7, unlocked Mirage Gates, and yeah, 1 game away now
over there?
This point, day 2.
Yeah, of course, this is a game match between 2 players with 16 match points, which means a win will put the victorious player into day 2.
Site of Grace, what the...
match points. It's a very, very big game, but it's not the final round.
I wonder how many times
I've
I've missed this one.
in this round, whether it's a tie or whether we just have 1 player losing. Oh, it's a Gibble puppet with glasses.
Oh, we're loving this. The Sudowoodo's out there. The Vaporeon, I just saw a Regigigas.
Yeah, poked in right at the end. I have that Regigigas at home. Trying to get my 2-year-old to love Regigigas. He mostly just loves Snorlax. So if you don't win this round, you've still got 1 more round to try and get those final 3 match points to get yourself into position for day 2. So, Elizabeth came very, very close. She fell just a tiny bit short. It really could have gone either way. Kenny, slow start, brought it back. Really made the most of all of his outs there. So what have we got? The 1 on Cramorant and the 1 on Blood Moon Ursaluna for Elizabeth.
Yeah, I don't think it's too terrible. It might shut off some lines from Kenny. Ultimately, he still wants to access his Mirage Gate as quickly as possible. One of those also in the prizes. I also think that's coming down to Elizabeth. Does she want to go first or second here? Because you might want to open up, read the wind for yourself, but no, it looks like she has chosen to go first.
She has.
Kicks off the Captain Aroma and gets heads.
I am thinking she might be trying to repeat from game 1. That Flutter Mane in the early game did put in a bunch of work.
Oh, she's got Jet Energy in hand as well as possible.
Oh, that would be fun. And of course, even if you don't do the Flutter Mane, you still want that Lugia going as fast as possible. And you hope that Kenny is not going to just get that turn 1 7 cards in a lost zone. It's possible. It's not likely, but it is possible.
I think Elizabeth's hand might not be good enough. Yeah, this is why she's having a debate here. She could Ultra Ball for second Archeops, then Archeops away, so then Ultra Ball away, that Archeops and grabs Carmine to refresh the hand. Yeah, I think she has to go for this line of play. She has a second Ultra Ball in the hand. She could just grab another Archeops, or she could utilize the Flutter Mane now, jet into it, and then still pull out Luminion, but you're not getting a second arc from this discard pile that way. You're just hoping that this Jet Energy is disruptive enough.
And I think you've laid it out very nicely there, Joe. This is exactly what we're seeing. We didn't see the Flutter Mane Jet Energy into the active. We then saw the Ultra Ball for Luminion for Carmine, and we are going to have discard your hand, draw 5 cards. It's one of the new cards from Twilight Masquerade, not one of the big new cards, but it really is seeing a lot of play in these Lugia decks. They love the discard because you need those Archeops in the discard. So Carmine finding its way into most of these Lugia lists.
And despite just playing 1 copy, Elizabeth has used it turn 1 both games.
Oh, because of the fish!
Oh yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic option to have. We're going to see a Michino get the bench as well. And just passings over to Kenny. Once again, locked down to the flower selecting by Elizabeth.
And it's important to note, like we said, game 1, Kenny was locked out, but he had Colress's Experiment. That was an option. Doesn't look like we have anything, no cards in the Lost Zone, and that is a big difference from game 1. No Colress's Experiment. Here comes capturing Aroma, and it is a heads. Elizabeth happy with that.
Yeah, that's going to get rid of an Archeops, I think. There's already a Professor's Research in hand for her, so she can discard this second Archeops.
All she needs here is a Lugia V-Star, and that is going to get her there.
This is fantastic, and again, the low hit points of these Pokemon means Elizabeth can just initiate the prize trade with this Flutter Mane and keep disrupting Kenny.
This could be a quick game, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, Kenny is on very few top decks now. Nest Ball is keeping you in the game, but you're falling further behind on the prizes. You need to start top decking Colress sharpish, as the second Archeops is going to get discarded from Elizabeth. Do we see the V-Star here or any additional ball search?
That is what you need.
Oh, it's a coin flip, Ross.
It's a tail, but it's not going to do it. Oh,
what a relief for Kenny.
That buys a turn. If Elizabeth gets the Lugia V-Star, she gets the KO this turn and goes, right, you've got Comfey, you're not allowed to flower select, I'm going to KO it next turn, what you got? But without the Lugia, you can't get the Archeops, but the Archeops, you can't get the energy. Without the energy, you can't get the KO, and that gives Kenny 1 more turn.
Kenny is just having to look at the hand and laugh the situation off, because top deck is locked down, that is not live.
Nope.
Elizabeth can use the Jack now, I believe, in hand to grab some evolutions. Ooh, Boss's orders as well. This is very smart.
Yeah, I like this. Sableye is doing nothing right now with no cards
close
in the
now.
But Comfey is a potential use if you can get Flutter Mane out the active. This is a better
Maybe.
target. And that was
The only way to get there might actually be from right here.
She attached.
Yeah.
Kenny had a whole turn, and then she manually attached.
It's
Nothing
over.
for Kenny.
Down here.
And we are 1 game each, and we're going to game 3.
Game 3 for a win it in
goodness,
here at the
yes.
NAIC in round 8. What more could you ask for? There's plenty of time on the clock for both these players, so hopefully we get a thrilling conclusion to this round number 8.
And we said, you know, there's a couple options for Elizabeth. What does she want to do? Does she want to get the Flutter Mane into the active?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that worked out pretty gosh darn well in the end, I think.
What a huge set conclusion for Elizabeth. It's paid off. Even though she lost that first game, it was still such a huge swing in tempo. It protected her board for a decent amount of time and stopped Kenny really popping off with some of those lightning attackers. And it's still unfortunate for Kenny. Let's not take anything away from that, but Elizabeth at the end of the day is cutting off so many assets just by promoting Flutter Mane in the opening stages.
Hey, do you reckon Kenny's going to choose to go first or second here, Joe?
I feel like you have to choose first.
Definitely. After what happened in the first 2 games, you've got to choose to go first and hope you can finally get an early flower selecting. You haven't managed it yet, so being able to do that would be pretty good. It looks like a Comfey start for Kenny, which is exactly what you're looking for here. Any chance Elizabeth has started with her lone Flutter Mane?
Oh, don't curse Kenny like that. Kenny's been through a lot. Sorry, Kenny. See the prize card, there's the Iron Hands for Elizabeth there. Just going for Kenny as well. That can cut off some outs. But we are getting into this 3rd game. It's fortunately, Ross, a Lugia start for Elizabeth. So Kenny will finally be able to turn 1 flower selecting.
That would have been starting your only Flutter Mane in game 3 after what we saw from game 1 and 2. That would be quite hard. We are in game 3 here, and this is big. We've got 17.5 minutes left, plus 3 turns.
Yeah.
If one of these players can manipulate the game and get all the way to a win, that will give them 19 match points out of enough for game 2. If neither player can, then we are going to be tied.
Nice. Oh, I got 3 of them.
Pair of them.
That's a nice flower selecting. You get a buddy-buddy pop in, so now you can retreat into another Comfey and continue to flower selecting here. Get them in while you can, Kenny, because I'm sure Elizabeth will once again
Okay,
look to
onward.
shut you down early with a Flutter Mane.
We see a 2 Comfey, so all 4 Comfey are out now. One's in the active, 2 the lost zone. And I do think Kenny is going, right, I know your game plan, Elizabeth. We've done this twice already. Point proven. And it's going to be, can I go turbo? Can I get many flower selecting? Because if you get 3 in the lost zone turn 1, then you open up the possibility of Colrus.
Not looking like I'll be able to get there this
7,
way.
and I haven't used flower selecting, and that is a very different game if that happens.
Completely the case, Ross. Possibly throwing away, yeah, the Sableye not that valuable in this matchup, especially with missed energy, shutting off potential options to Lost Mine. So Kenny's going to utilize a Nest Ball instead from the flower selecting. Might want to continue to draw cards. Yep, exactly that with Radiant Greninja here. I think there's a handful of energy already in the hand. I think Kenny's already holding on to Colrus for next turn as well. So as you said, it's just really developing as much as possible to get as close to 7 as they can.
I know what to do.
Part of me wants
First,
to get a Cramorant down as a potential attacker, and part of me thinks, well, that
7.
wouldn't have worked in the first 2 games. Do you really want to use a bench space on a Pokemon that might not come out? So there is a concealed card. Gets Prime Catcher and an energy, so that's an interesting option. And yeah, this is quite nice. Just try and make sure you can get up to... Wait, do we not see the 3rd flower selecting?
No, I don't think we have any other switching cards.
Oh, that is disappointing. That makes a big difference, because that means you have to flower select next turn to get to 7.
Elizabeth has what I like to describe a Lugia hand. This is looking awkward. You might have to Luminion for... Well, you could have Luminion for Jacques. Actually, your hand could have been really good there. You could have Luminion for Jacques, then Ultra Ball away, double Archeops, found the Flutter Mane, jetted into Flutter Mane. That would have been an incredible sequence.
Yeah, that could have been quite nice. End of a Flutter Mane, have 2 Archeops in the discard pile. Instead, we are using an Ultra Ball to go and get that Flutter Mane. We've got a Lugia and a Jet Energy hitting the discard pile. And a Luminion comes down. What are we going to be going for?
With so many energy, yeah, you have to go Iono now. Oh, I feel like we had such a great path there with the Jacques, but we've gone for a different direction.
What I leveled up endurance for
Read the Wind
exactly?
is an option as well, possibly, that we're thinking about here. But with the early search of Flutter Mane, I feel like we're still going to see Jet Energy this turn.
Quite possibly. There were, of course, a couple flower selecting, so you know Kenny's got a decent hand, or at least you suspect that he does. So maybe using Iono, slow that down a little bit. Here comes the Jet onto the Flutter Mane. Here comes the Iono. Love it when you can match your sleeves to the supporter you're playing at the particular turn. And here comes a new hand of 6 cards for both players.
Elizabeth still needs to get rid of a number of Archeops here. Has drawn into Capturing Aroma and Ultra Ball though, so she might be well on her way, especially with a head split. That and she's just absolutely insane. That's how it can feel with Lucas sometimes. If you just get into enough ball search, you can still make it come together.
I mean, when one of your key cards is Capturing Aroma is just, it's a card that makes me too stressed, Joe. There are times you really want a basic, there are times you really want an evolution, and both times you've just got to flip, and it's so awkward, but I do believe that was Ultra Ball for double Archeops in the discard pile. So, all Elizabeth needs, I mean, do we get the Lugia V-Star now ready for next turn? Wow. No, we get him in Chino.
I mean, it's a tough call. You're hoping a lot comes out from this Iono. You're really hoping you're disrupting with this Flutter Mane. She is just grabbing Minccino. Oh, there's the bundle though.
Iron Bundle is going to force something active. Whatever it is does not have Flutter Mane's ability. So that is going to undo all the good work Elizabeth did. Kenny has access to flower selecting. Oh, one of Roxanne and a Lightning Energy. You kind of want both of them.
Yeah, I think we have to get rid of Roxanne because there's already Iron Hands EX in hand for Kenny and a number of switch cards and Colrus.
Wait, just
we
23.
easily could be taking a 3-prize turn here if it all comes together. We're going to see the Greninja as well get into the mix. We see additional ball search. That's not too helpful, but we have plenty of flower selecting now unlocked thanks to the Iron Bundle. And working towards that critical threshold of 7 in the Lost Zone. We still need to find some Mirage Gate as well though, Ross.
Yeah, and it is actually kind of awkward. Had you managed to get one more flower selecting last turn, you'd be on 5 now, and that would be opening up Colrus's experiment just to get you up to 7. You would still need that though. We're not there yet. We don't have Mirage Gate.
We can Nespal out a Raikou V, so if we are at least missing any pieces after this Colrus, we can just take 2 prizes with Raikou. You're still initiating that race, and still representing a Lightning Pokemon, and you save Iron Hands for later, which also seems pretty helpful.
Yeah, and on the face of it, right, Kenny's got the Raikou.
Let's go up a little bit. I'll go ahead and level it.
It feels like you've got some good answers to Lugia, and Iron Hands also a pretty good answer to Chinchino, because Chinchino's trying to take out 2-prize Pokemon, becomes a 2-prize Pokemon with the Iron Hands. We haven't really seen that in either of the 2 games
I see
so
numbers.
far, but that is traditionally what these Lost Zone decks want to do a lot in this matchup. But here comes Colress's experiment. What do we got? Prime Catcher and Mirage Gate.
Ross, we could be taking out the only Lugia V here.
That would be huge. Taking out Luminia for 3 prizes? No, who cares about that? Taking out the only Lugia for free prizes? Now that is a plan.
And he gets rid of Counter Catcher as well, because he knows full well he's going to be going up a few prize cards by the end of this turn.
Yeah, when you're going up by 3 prizes, Counter Catcher becomes a much less enticing option.
I think we just have to go with Raikou. I don't think we have enough for the Iron Hands, but still, taking out the only Lugia, it's worth it. This is incredible right now.
If I'm only taking 2 prizes off the only Lugia, giving my opponent almost nothing to work with,
We take those.
I'm kind of alright with that. That's a decent eventuality.
Wow, what a turn for Kenny. Drawing back into the Prime Catcher. It was in the previous hand. It got Iono to the bottom. We were able to access it again. And there goes the Lugia. Oh, it's devastating for Elizabeth. She could have found a second Lugia V, went for the Minccino instead. And we do see the Lightning Rondo for the knockouts.
And that is always the risk when you're playing Lugia. You need Lugia V-Star. You have to have that to get your arc up. If you don't, the deck doesn't.
How did I end up with
so
here? What am I
we
doing?
do see enough energy here onto a Fluttermane. That's just going to get KO'd by Raikou. It's already. The energy's already on the board. Here's the thing. If you only bench one Lugia, that could happen again.
The hand is awful. Elizabeth also got rid of a Blood Moon Ursaluna. I'm surprised that wasn't benched, to be honest with you. We're doing 70 thanks to the reduction of double turbo energy, 2 onto a Comfey, but Kenny feels like they're in a commanding position now. Boss's order is in the hand.
Have the boss onto the other Lugia, and I do think this is probably the game at this stage. 4 prizes up to 0 with no Lugia on the board. Elizabeth is not going to be getting a Lugia V-Star. Next turn, maybe ever, that Fluttermane is still in range of a Raikou. There's another Lugia. Can we do it again? Probably not, honestly, but there is a power pad in the list. It is possible.
This way, but this way.
Prize cards. Elizabeth can do essentially her only play here, which is continue to use Hex her.
Oh god, I have Sauron.
Wrap up the game right here with the Forest Seal Stone.
Do we have power pads?
Not sure I see it. You can maybe use Pokestop and dig towards an item card first. Fleet-footed as well. That's shut off.
Yeah, don't fleet-footed with a Fluttermane in the active. Certainly not when you're this far up in the game. So, here's Pokestop. I like using this before Forest Seal Stone.
Yeah.
So if you hit the power pad, you can then just...
I haven't been up these in a while.
The game kind of feels over, but that will make the game literally over. Ooh. We are searching first here. We are searching
the game. Unless we can use Iron Hands. If we can combine Iron Bundle with Iron Hands attacking, that could be an option. Elizabeth going through all the eventualities here of what could possibly win the game this turn.
Loving every time we show the crowd, people want to show off their plushies. A lot of love here for our favorite Pokemon. Now, here comes the retreat into Iron Hands. You don't do this if you don't have enough energy.
Yeah.
So,
there's the rod.
There's the rod. And it does
double gate. I'm pretty sure we're there.
Yeah, we should be absolutely there. So here comes the double Mirage Gate, and Elizabeth's going to be thinking maybe he doesn't have enough energy, but there's the concession, and Kenny wins 2 games to 1. You can't win with Lugia if you don't have Lugia.
Yeah, congratulations to Kenny. What a thrilling 3rd game. Devastation for Elizabeth, unfortunate for her. She did have a strange opener, and her hand wasn't really cooperating too well. But Kenny was flying on all cylinders in that 3rd game. Exactly what you want to see. Throwing the Prime Catcher into the mix, then bossing the turn after. And Kenny gives a huge fist bump to the crowd. So many fans out there watching these last couple of rounds at the NAIC. And we will be seeing Kenny again tomorrow.
Yeah, that is 19 match points. That does get him into day 2.
Surely this is the way
and if
now.
anyone in the crowd can hear us over the rest of the noise, I refuse to believe that's enough people. More of you out there are
also the way to
plushies.
this
I would like
place.
to see a few more next time.
I think it's a
Have
puzzle,
little
I
bit
know.
of a crowd shot. That's like one suit.
Oh, hello.
Come on, you can do better than that crowd.
The plushie
Touch
gang
grace.
is in full force. And you can see they are loving that last round. A lot of fans out there for Kenny, who's had a great run here with Lost Zone. A lot of respect being shown by both players here. Elizabeth has another chance, let's not forget, to still make it into day 2. So let's have a replay of this game, Ross.
Yeah, so we see here we're in game 1 and we saw the boss's orders and Elizabeth having that fantastic start with Fluttermane taking the first 2 prizes while putting the pressure on. But then we saw the Greninja coming in, the big double KO on the Minccino, taking out that attacking option and actually putting Kenny ahead on prizes.
Yeah. But
Things would get very, very tight towards the end of the game. We saw Lugia coming out for Elizabeth, and it basically said to Kenny, do you have an option? Can you take it out? And the answer was yes with the Raikou.
Yeah.
That was a big turning point.
That was
in
a
the game.
huge chorus. Literally had to hit a 3-card combo from a 5-card chorus and was able to pull it out. As we get into the highlights of the second game, not much of a game to be honest with you. Elizabeth got the early Fluttermane. Midnight Fluttering meant Kenny had not much draw whatsoever, so we went straight into a game 3 where Kenny had it all his own way. A lot of early cloud collecting, plus Greninja, then was able to get the prime catcher on the lone Lugia V and was able to follow it up with a boss's orders. And Raikou V swarmed the board and swept up so many prizes.
And from there was no way back, unfortunately. Iron Hand was ready to take the last 2 prizes, but when 2 Mirage Gate hit the board, Elizabeth said, you know what, I think we've seen enough. You take this 2-1. A lot of respect between those 2 players. We saw the hug on the stage at the end. Disappointing, and especially if you're Elizabeth there, when you're so close to game 1, and then you win game 2, but then game 3 just starts.
What are Cocoon Knights doing here?
But that is unfortunately the way this goes sometimes.
That's Pokemon, I'm afraid. And when you are playing Lugia, you sort of take that on the chin. You know that you're playing an archetype that can sometimes go against you. And we have seen it already on the stream a couple of times where it has just...
Shabriri's Woe!
But Elizabeth has that extra opportunity, one more chance.
Yeah, and you know what? When you're here, just keep swimming. You've got one more game. There is still a chance. You've got another round. You only need one more win. Get yourself into day 2. And when you're in day 2, there's a lot that can still happen. You need to go on a run when you get there from 19 match points, but that can happen.
And speaking of Kenny's deck, what do you think about Lost Zone? It feels like it's having a pretty good tournament so far. A number of pilots. We've seen a lot of aggressive builds. So many players are picking up on the heavy Pokestop, the heavy Lost Vacuum.
Onward.
Is this the new way to play the Lost Zone archetype, Ross?
Certainly seems to be this tournament, of course. Lost Vacuum, it's weird. We think of Lost Vacuum a lot of the time as a, hey, I'm going to get rid of your Tool Lost Stadium. It's a little bit of a control card. But here, you're basically using it almost like that's a little bit of a bonus. If you can play a Stadium or a Tool and then play Lost Vacuum, that is +2 in the Lost Zone. So Free Comfey, Chorus's Experiment, Lost Vacuum, that's 7 cards in the Lost Zone. We didn't see this even a week ago before Twilight Masquerade came out. I'm sure there were players doing it, but that was not generally the way it was played. Then you build in that Pokestop like your Lost Vacuum to draw into your switching cards more aggressively to get more Comfey rolling. They're not always agreeing, these Lost Zone players, on the attackers that we're using, but they do seem to be agreeing on let's go fast.
Yeah, and I think Kenny's constructed a fantastic deck list.
Precious item ahead, really.
Into day 2, he's got to be chuffed with that, and we can hear from him on the stage.
Damn, okay.
Thank you, casters. Juancho Saldana here, and I'm joined by our round 8 winner,
Come back to
Penny Hernandez. Penny, you just made day 2 at the North American International Championships. You must be feeling great.
Dude, it feels so awesome. I got my boys in the front over here. I'm shaking. Words can't describe it. I'm speechless, bro. I got boys back on the island as well. Oh.
Take a minute to breathe. Take it in. You made it. Day 2. There's still a lot of work to do tomorrow, but right now you can celebrate. well, there's still one more match to do before you can end your day, and you gotta end it strong, right? So, let's talk about your deck.
Oh shit, it's a madness flower.
Talk about the deck choice.
It was what I've been playing since Lost Zone came out, and I thought, well, for the meta, right now it's gonna be a lot of Guardy, a lot of Cole, and Lost Zone has like favorable or like even matchups into them. For Lugia, it's a bit iffy, but I had a certain tech card that did not get to show on stream. But it wasn't the prizes, it was the last one that I took for game 1.
Interesting. Yeah, again, you have your tech cards. You have a lot of lightning as well to try and deal with Lugia V-Star, and we got to see it. You dominated game 3, just knockout after knockout on the lone Lugia V-Star. Sometimes that does tend to happen. Tell us how you were preparing though for this.
Oh my god, it has like 1 health.
We would get on cam with my boy Alex over here in the front. We would literally just get on Discord and just webcam and be like, okay, we could go this or we could playtest this. And then on the side, I've been playing a bit of live, and then at locals, I got my boy over here who runs them. Yeah, just a bunch of like on and off live local things and webcams.
I love it. You can make it here. Biggest tournament of all time. And it's because of friendship, because of all your friends out there. Definitely, a good testing partner goes a long way. With that, I just want to ask you, do you have any advice for any aspiring Pokemon master out there?
Just play. You learn your skills over time. Don't rush it. If you make a misplay, just learn from it and play it off. Go for the next round, and that's it.
Great advice. 1 round at a time. With that, anyone you want to shout out?
Yeah, I got a lot of people. It's a whole list. All the boys here in the front. I'm looking at you, Randy, Ted, Alex. I got some boys on Long Island. I got that crew. I got some. There's too many, bro. But I'm just gonna list them off right there.
You know what? You can win again on stream, and you can list them out then.
Great.
That's for sure. That's for sure. And with that, thank you so much for the great interview. Good. Best of luck with the next round. Best of luck with the tournament tomorrow. I'm sure we're going to see more from you.
That's what I hope to do.
All right. With that, we're going to throw it back to the casters for more Pokemon action.
What happened?
Thank you very much.
Game
Monster.
crashed.
Always nice to hear from a winner. Always nice to see players who have brought their friends along, got a bit of a crowd there cheering them on, and like super hyped for their friend, and then also to be kind of shown on camera cheering for their friend. Always lovely to see, and it's that relief. I'm in day 2. I've got 19 match points. I've still got another round.
Yeah.
Hey, all it's doing is giving me a better chance into tomorrow to, it's not just top 8, it's also ranking, top 16, top 32. Your chance of all of those increases a lot with a win here. But you don't have to get the win, you've got that day 2. That feels good.
That's what it's all about. As we saw, the relief literally washed over Kenny in that game. So happy, the big fist bump, all the friends out there. You can see he's a popular guy. You can see why, it's infectious. Just how much fun he's having out there. Some great advice as well, just get playing, get at the tables, however you can with your friends in person tournaments. All of these things are great practice, and it's paying dividends this weekend.
But that is how you get better. You need to play the game. Theorizing is fun. Yeah. And talking it through with your friends is fun, and watching games is fun. There's a lot of different ways to engage with Pokemon, but you've got to actually play. There's a lot of merit in watching other people play. There's a lot of merit in talking through ideas with your friends to get some deck list ideas, get a list going. Yeah. But then you actually have to sit and play the game, and that's where you start actually really learning the ins and outs. And there's no substitute for just getting games under your belt, and especially when you're kind of learning to play, when you're starting to see those big results, the more you can play, the better.
Yep, so Kenny makes their way into day 2. Also going to have a quick update on who else is doing well so far in the tournament. We have 2 8-0 players right now. Alessandro Cremascoli simply cannot be beat so far with that Pidgeot control. 8-0. We saw the Farigiraf EX doing wonders for him on stream. And we also have Henry Chow, 8-0 with Gardevoir EX right now. Yeah, Gardevoir's doing very well. And actually our 3rd place player at the moment
take the
is
world.
Rai, 701 with Gardevoir. Other 701s include Ben Cryer with Snorlax Control, Dylan Gunn with Chen Pao, which is being underestimated all weekend. Noah with Gardevoir, also sitting at 701. Brian Antonucci with Gardevoir.
Here
and
comes
Nicholas Moffat with Chen Pao. It's a Gardevoir Chen Pao show, Joe.
Yeah, all the old faithfuls doing well out there at the tables right now.
It's Control, Gardevoir, and Chen Pao. Like, that's what's at the top
Nothing's
table.
changed. In many ways, nothing's changed. In many ways, everything's changed. Incredible to see.
We do have a couple of Lost Zone box, also
Yeah.
701. We have our Finnish player, we have Pedri, Enio Torres there as well. Nico Gist, or Geist, apologies for the pronunciation if that's wrong. 7-1 with Future Box. It's one match point down again, but still 7-1 with Future Box. That is not necessarily what we were expecting. Lots of ties in that last round, but maybe a coincidence. Lots of those ties just happened to put the players on 19 match points.
Hey, not bad. That's where you want to be. A couple other great shout-outs here. Jesse Parker on Goldengo EX. We got to chat to him out in the floor earlier.
Yeah, we did.
Having a great time with the Goldengo. Literally isn't playing any new cards for the new set at all and just said, well, the format's better for Goldengo now. Let's lock it in and let's use that Radiant Greninja to our best effect alongside Palkia V-Star. Michael Framwell finally taking a loss in that last round, but is still doing excellently. 6-1-1 with that Dragapult archetype with so many inclusions. There's also a couple Ancient Box, Zach Lesage and Aiden both losing in this round, but that was their first loss of the tournament, both doing well with Ancient Box so far.
Yeah, there is. It is not the tournament we're expecting. I'm looking through all the top decks, and it's Gardevoir, it's Control, it's Chen
Ancient Box,
Ancient Box, Lost Box, Golden Go.
We're just yoinking new ace specs and we're upgrading the current archetypes by the looks of
It's
things.
like, where's Roaring Moon? Where's Lugia?
Well, yeah.
Where are all
Where
these
is
decks? We were,
Lugia? Yeah, Raging Bolt. It hasn't had a great tournament so far.
people promised me Raging Bolt was great, Joe. Have I just been lied to for like the past 2 months?
Well, the metagame just seems to have formed around these sorts of archetypes. We even saw an enhanced hammer in Kenny's Lost Zone box list. That's how much respect is being given to the Lugia deck and Raging Bolt as well, just by thoughtful other deck choices. That's why we're seeing these rogue picks of the Ancient Box from some of our top contingent of players. That's what made Gardevoir a great pick, is how strong it can be into the Raging Bolt matchup as well. So people have taken notes, and that's always such an intrigue for the first and only tournament that we have in this format. You have to get that metacal right exactly this weekend.
And you know what you guys at home are going to get right? The community prediction bracket. We are not done with that yet. We need to have another round where we talk through a couple of decks, and it looks like we're going to be moving on to Dragapult EX and Lost Zone box, which, I mean, I'll be honest with you, coming into this tournament, I think there was an answer where Dragapult EX was going to run away with it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, apparently we're not just going to yell at each other for 30 seconds each, Joe. So, if we're going to have a nice, polite discussion about this, I'm going to start off by saying, if we look at what's been going on with this tournament this weekend, it's Lost Zone box.
Yeah, Lost Zone box is thriving right now. The unfair stamp, no problem. Let's just skip the Cramorant swing and get straight to 7 as quickly as possible. And Mirage Gate and find all sorts of 2-prize combos, either via virtue of your Iron Hands, your Greninja can completely swing many board states, and of course Raikou can even weave in attacks into other multi-prize Pokemon as well. And of course you now have that fallback of the Blood Moon Ursaluna. Let's not discredit how important this card is for fixing the late game of the Lost Zone. So often you go down to 3 2-card hands via Iono or Roxanne from your opponents, and you had to find 3 or 4 card combos to respond. Now you can just pre-bench Blood Moon Ursaluna and it's right there ready to go.
Yeah, that Blood Moon Ursaluna's made a very big difference, but we mentioned it a couple of times already, the way in which the deck is being built is making a very big difference, because we are going fast. We're going Poker Stop.
I think I've gotten these if they're there.
Vacuums,
and
just
see
trying
them
to
like
get
that.
7 in the Lost Zone. The wild thing to me is, we were only playing one Cramorant anyway, and just recovering it if we wanted to use it lost.
Check it out,
now
though.
we're like, well, we'll still play one Cramorant just in case, but that Cramorant, it's a nice bonus now, rather than necessarily the early game plan. So let's go over to Dragapult then, Joe. Dragapult coming in, like you say, the beginning of this format over in Japan, in the City Leagues, it wasn't the best deck, it was the dominant deck. It was everywhere. We got to the first big tournament in Japan, the Sapporo Champions League, and it was basically let's beat Dragapult. My boy Miraidon did great in Sapporo because it had a great Dragapult matchup, and a lot of top players transitioned to it because of that.
And Dragapult still did well in Sapporo. Dragapult got top 4 as well. Obviously was knocked out by one of those more aggressive archetypes. Probably, I think Miraidon did beat it a little bit more. So people were respecting Dragon Ball, but it still did really well. And that just showed that it was popular. There were counters, but it could still go far in tournaments. We know the strong elements of Dragon Ball.
You've called it the best. You said it's not the best attack in the game.
I think that's not like a spicy take. I just think that 200 damage plus 6 where you can place them anywhere is still just incredibly flexible, so worth building around that there has to be ways that we can make this come together. I think what we're figuring out still this weekend is that there are still such a huge variety of lists. And
well, I got that one.
Yeah, with the 60 right now, we're having to juggle different engine pieces.
He's no
and
model.
we're trying to make the most out of this card. We haven't seen a huge amount of the Zartu
Sure, we'll
yet.
do
I don't think
this.
we've seen much of that at all actually on the
Three
screen.
fight
So
him.
far, we've seen a Lost Zone variant, which is still able to retain a one
These guys are
very
tough.
effectively.
I always
Got
remember them
pressure
being
from Cramran, which does
chunky.
align quite nicely with Dragapult's 200 damage output. You can do really good numbers into V-Star Pokemon, even set up certain EXs to then deal with damage counter placement later down the line, and it plays Radiant Charizard, which is incredible. But then we've also seen Pramort smash of basically every other good card. You're playing the full Charizard Pidgeot suite with the barrel, and then throwing the Dragapult EX and heal up energy into the mix.
And that, I think, is the argument for Dragon Ball. It's all well and
Well,
good sitting
not
here
that
and
tough.
going, well, at this tournament, the answer is Lost Zone Box.
No,
Yeah, right
yeah.
now it is. Although we're not at the end, we could still end up being surprised in the latter stages of tomorrow.
Okay, so I
But
probably
it's
have the
not
other one
necessarily fair to
too.
just look at it that way, because Lost Zone Box has been out since Lost Origin in some form or another. That's even predating Scarlet and Violet. Dragapult, we are still
go
struggling
there,
to try and
though,
find the best deck.
I
There's different ways
guess.
to play it. The potential for Dragapult could see it
Yeah.
outshining Lost Zone Box in the end. So don't just look at it as a Lost Zone Box is better this week, get the job done. Look at it as we have a very
Suppose.
established archetype making the absolute most of all the experience we've had over, well, really 2 years at this point, against a deck that literally became legal today. The deck wasn't born yesterday, Joe. The deck was born today.
Yeah.
It's going to take some time to figure this out.
Yeah, and let's actually check in on some of our players to watch, because I think one of the ones we're trying to follow this weekend is Ford, and he's been very vocal about Dragapult. He has been showing us the way to play this archetype and talking all about the selling points of this deck. And Ford, he's a great innovative deck builder. He can take a card and a concept, and he can maximize every inch out of that concept. And create
Oh,
a
Landsax is
deck.
here,
Ford
okay.
is rocking Dragapult
I didn't know
as
this.
well. He's currently on a 6-1-1 record, so already at that 19 match point threshold with Dragapult. Yeah, in day 2, so will continue to progress through this tournament. He's had a great run so far, and is proving why Dragapult is such a powerful card.
And do you know which deck he just beat to go to 19 match points and book his day space in day 2?
Is it going to be Lost Box? Are we going
It's
full
Lost
circle?
Box.
Yeah, nice.
So all I'm saying is, you know, if you want another argument for Dragapult over Lost Box,
So
Torch
I got all those,
and
it
just
looks
beat
like,
Lost
so
Box. What more do you need?
probably
It is
got
not
this.
quite as straightforward as it might seem. And,
Yep.
you know, does anyone really doubt that Tord is going to go on a bit of a run in day 2? Tord is not the kind of player who gets
All right.
19 match points, gets into day 2 and goes, yeah, I got another day 2.
No.
For some players, and like I say, every player is different. We've got different experience levels. That first day 2 means so much to so many players. That first time you make it into day 2, it is huge, it is an accomplishment, and a lot of the time it is a springboard to better things. So I've got the first day 2, now I want to go one step further. How many ICs has Tord won at this stage?
Just the 5.
Yeah, he's won 5
Spooked me.
international championships, and that's not including the ones where he got second.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm not talking singular here. I believe there was another 2 where he
Twice.
made the final.
Yeah.
So when you've made 7 international
See.
finals and won 5 of them, you're not really looking for a day 2 finish.
Probably
I
gotten
think
that
it is not
Kaled
unfair
one.
to say you've kind of gotten past the point of, yay, I made
Church of
stage
the
2. At
Plague.
that point, you've got to be fighting for the title. That is the only thing that is really going to hit
actually-
that competitive hunger. And how many times have we
think
seen
I
a
have.
player make their first day 2, and then a couple of months later they're in their first top 8,
Yeah.
and then they're winning their first regional? That is something that we see. It is a great stepping stone. Tord was there a
I don't
while
have any of
ago.
the Celia
And some of
stuff.
those other players to watch in, Rob, I know you're a huge
Let's
fan
do
because he's
this.
rocking the Miraidon this
Yeah, he
weekend.
is.
Also at 6-2 right now, so just a tie away from booking their spot in stage 2. Brent, still in the tournament, is at a 4-1-2 record, so has to win 2 on the bounce now to be able to get in. It actually depends on how this round plays out for him. Still playing, I imagine,
Yes.
in this round 8. So has to win this round and the final round to book his spot into Day 2 as well.
Yeah, tie would not work if you go. You can get there with a bunch of ties, but it then has to be a 5-0-4 record. That's the only thing that gets you in. If you take, 3 ties and a loss, that will unfortunately eliminate you from the tournament. So, not ideal. You need those 6 wins or and a tie, or 5 wins and 4 ties. That is unfortunately the only way we can get there. Did you manage to see where Stefan Ivanov is here yet?
Haven't been able to track him down, actually. You've just sprung that on me.
Starlight Shards?
Following. But I think we're getting tearing to our round 9 soon, so we can have a look.
Come on, if I
see.
do.
But we also have a little something from Juancho, who's been able to chat to one of our judges, of course. The tournament cannot run without the help of our TCG judges. So we're going to throw to that now to show you guys how we can keep these tournaments running thanks to our wonderful judges.
Well, my flesh, what is a cup?
Hello, Pokemon fans. Juancho Sedana here, and I'm live at the North American International Championships, the biggest international to date. And you know what? I have with me a very, very special guest, Chris Bow. Chris, how are you feeling today?
Feeling great, feeling great.
So Chris here, he's actually one of the first judges for the Pokemon trading card game. Did I get that right?
Yeah, I was one of the very first ones back in 2002, I think.
Back in 2002 again. Tell us about your history with the game.
Well, it first started out with me and my daughters. They were into the Pokemon card, series, trading card game, and
Alright, let's
when
use
they
it.
started bringing the cards home, I was like, let's learn how to play this game. And I was like, wow, this is actually really fun. This is really fun. So we started going to the Toys R Us Pokemon League, started going online to look at strategies, and then at the time, Wizards of the Coast was doing a Thursday chat, and there was like all kinds of questions and answers. So me and some other guys, we got together and we collected all of the Q&A rulings and filed them into what we call the compendium. It's hosted on Pokegym.net, and we still have it today. And we've been collecting rulings for the past 20 plus years.
Wow.
And we use that as our main judge's reference when it comes to like rulings.
Wow. The compendium. Again, so basically, you were part of really organized play from the very beginning. Like really, what we do today is something you've worked on to really build a structure for.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So one of our first tasks was after we had got the compendium published, Wizards contacted us and said, hey, we're doing some Super Trainer Showdowns.
Next
in,
is
the
Mount
East
Tops,
Coast.
alright.
We'd like to fly you out and put you in a hotel, put them on staff. Is that okay? And I'm like, getting paid for having fun? This is perfect. It's a perfect job. Can't quit my day job for it, but it was a lot of fun, and I've been doing it for over 20 years. Still loving it.
Wow. Can you imagine though? Now we're here, North American International Championship. There's over 3,000 players playing, and they wouldn't be here playing without your work. How amazing is that?
That is pretty amazing when I think about it like that. Yeah.
No, that's for sure. That's exactly why I wanted to get a chance to really talk to you. And, you had a fun fact to share with everyone. What is your player ID?
It's 2 digits long.
2 digits long.
66.
66. Mind you, I've been with the game for over 10 years. Mine is about 6 digits long. So,
Up to 7 digits, I think. Some of them are 7, I think.
And wow, 66. So really, one of the first. It's absolutely amazing. So a couple of questions before I do let you go. Just a little fun facts, just to really get to know you a little bit more. What was what's your favorite Pokemon?
That's a tough call. It's a toss-up between Alakazam and Scythe. They're just the old school ones that I've liked so much for all the years.
Is it because of the whole base set, how good they were then?
Pretty much, yeah. And they've always had good artwork,
5, 6.
decent attacks. Just
Mount
I like it.
Tops.
Awesome. I absolutely love it. Anyone you want to shout out before I let you go?
2.
Not really particularly, but I would like to say hi to my wife and kids, who are probably not watching this, but hello, love you.
We'll clip it and we'll
Altus
show
Tunnel.
With that, thank you so much for the interview, Chris. And again, thank you for everything you've done for the game.
Okay.
All right, with that, we'll go ahead and head back to more Pokemon action.
Welcome back into the casting desk here for the trading card game. Wonderful interview with Juancho. Wow, that was such a cool interview to see.
Altus
But
tunnel.
we're taking that cool interview and we're taking you into a very cool match. Now, it's been a long day. I'm Boo, and I'm with Pablo here, and we've been working hard today, all right? You know, we've been working so hard today, Pablo. Maybe we'll get a coin bonus.
Yeah.
Perhaps, perfect, yeah.
I need to make it down
Now,
here.
We are in for the last round of the day.
I can do that.
A win and in match. Yeah,
I know,
A lot to play for.
I mean,
And
naturally,
it's day two. Saying you made day 2 at the biggest international tournament to date,
Huge.
that's going to have a lot of merit.
I mean, making a day 2 at all, really.
Yeah.
But especially, yeah, here at NAIC, the prestige is as high as it gets outside of course, our World
Let's do
Championships.
this.
And there's a ton of players that you would have had to play through to make it into a day 2. So I would argue the winning in here in our round 9, day
Start
1,
from
is one of the
here.
most exciting parts of our day 1 stream. We got to open the show today, Pablo, with a really exciting match, and we're closing it out now on a winning in match. And we have some awesome players lined up for you. Some notable
buddy.
people that I'm sure you maybe have seen around on Twitter today, dancing around.
Now, before we jump into the match, though, we do have another community bracket
No,
to be decided.
I just want to play some Pokemon
Well, I
here,
just want to win
Pablo.
one community
Oh
bracket.
yeah,
Boo.
true. Honestly, it's much worse for you. Well, let's check it out.
Now, let's check it out. We do have... Oh, we are actually into the semifinals now.
We're just
oh,
Cutie.
Yeah,
oh, there we go.
this one,
So,
this one.
Lost Box beating out the
Drag-
brand new Dragapult. Yes.
I mean, I'm not very surprised by that, especially because Dragapult didn't really, surprisingly didn't have a lot of hype going into this meta, even though it's an incredible card. We just haven't figured it out yet. But, you know, Lost Zone has been figured out in more ways than one, over and over again, throughout plenty of different formats. So, not too surprised that was the winner of that one.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I could agree now. Do have our players ready at the stage. We're moving
Let's go.
forward. Let's see who we have for this. Yeah.
Yes. Who we have, what decks we are about to see. And over here on the stream, looking fierce on the right side of the screen, JW Freewall with Golden Go EX, featuring, of course, that origin form, Palkia V-Star as well. We are going to see some coin bonus today.
We definitely are, Boo. And now, on the other side, we have good old Miraidon EX, which has had a bit of a resurgence this tournament.
Love
the
it.
fact that Lugia is so popular, the fact that Gardevoir is so popular, the fact that Lost Fox is so popular means you are in business with your Iron Hands and your electric generators. So Eli trying to make that day 2 and probably go up against a lot of Gardevoirs tomorrow. But first, he has to push through Goldengo EX.
Yep, we're gonna have to see JW make it rain out here on this stage, and I mean, I believe in both these players to give us a great show here in our Swiss Round 9, our last match of day 1 here at the North America International Championship. Everything on the line here with both of these records for these players. They're trying to earn their way into day 2 here at NAIC, and they hopefully will be able to do it in fashion with both of these decks, both Golden Go as well as Miraidon making a resurgence. I know Miraidon fans out there cheering on Eli in this match, and I'm sure there's a ton more Golden Go fans because honestly, we don't see this card like ever, so it's gonna be a fun one. Let's check out these prize cards for both of our players.
Couple energies in the prize cards for Miraidon. Not the biggest deal when you're playing 15, right? It will decrease your chance of hitting those electric generators a tiny little bit, but over on the other side, we do have J-Double and Greywall prizing a couple Pokemon, a couple supporters, a couple item cards, nothing too major. He plays multiple copies of all of those cards, so I think pretty decent on the prizes. Eli maybe with one less Miraidon axes than he would like to have, but we're gonna get this started, Boo, and
let's go.
Yeah, Asphalt to start us off.
Yep, switch to round 9 here between our players. It's been a long day, but they have to keep their focus here for this last match today if they want to punch their ticket into day 2. Starting off with this nest ball here.
Probably not even a good item.
And that Squawkabilly EX is going to start interactive for Eli as well.
Yep, that Squawk and C is going to be pretty cool. Eli's hand is filled with energy, which is not so great, right? There's no more Flappy that you can use to recover those, so you don't really benefit from having energies in your discard pile anymore, but gonna get that Miraidon's gonna get that tandem unit going.
Yeah.
And yeah, you want to lead with an early Iron Hands if possible, so have to see if those generators are aligned.
Yeah, that is going to be a huge factor here, as it always really has been for Miraidon EX. But another factor is that random units allow Eli to search out basic electric Pokemon to the field here. So we're going to see that Iron Hands as well as that Raikou hit the field here for Eli after this shuffle up. It's very nice to see. And I mean, that's such a strong ability that Miraidon does have to do. We saw a single nest ball here, and now we have multiple Pokemon out on the field all together at once. It has the speed here. Let's see if we can hit these electric generators, though. This is going to be our first one of the match.
Yep, 1 energy, 2 energy found.
Woo!
Pretty fantastic. The Dream Electric generators,
Beautiful.
which is really nice to see. And as you mentioned, Blue, that tandem unit ability really gives Miraidon this, and I'm pretty sure that's the reason why this deck is viable, especially now. Like before, it didn't need Battle VIP Pass. It still doesn't need anything like that, and it really makes it so that a single nest ball sets you up for the rest of the game.
Yes, you love to see it, and of course, I always love to see it. That Squawk and C's, we're squawking, we're seasoned here. I mean, this setup is impeccable here from Eli. And of course, JW hasn't taken the first turn yet, but just a small gimme ghoul active, scared at the moment from seeing this entirely set up board state, especially that Iron Hands EX being loaded up with tons of energy and being off to the races. So
nice.
let's talk about Golden Go EX here, Pablo. We don't get to see this card very often. This is what this deck is based around. Of course, we do also have that Origin Form Palkia V-Star, which we used to see quite frequently. Not in a long time, though. It only really plays into this deck now. How does this deck work?
I mean, it will try to get a lot of energies into a discard pile and recover them with Superior Energy Retrieval, so that you can make it rain and do a lot of damage. Now, with Eli's side of the field, he doesn't have the highest HP, so make it rain attack.
Turning these guys off.
4 or 5 energies on average.
Let's go get them.
Whatever they have, but one of the issues could be just getting a lot of Goldengos going before the Iron Hand starts spreading. And another issue here is that your deck relies on Palkia V-Star, right? That's like the other half of your deck.
It is, yeah.
Putting it down here is a liability against the full Lightning deck.
Yeah, that is a tough matchup here for JW because of that very reason, Pablo. So we're gonna have to see how this goes. But yeah, Golden Go is interesting because most of the decks you see discarding energy cards to multiply damage. It's coming off the field, but Golden Go is discarding from hand, which is quite nice. So you have to discard those energies, take some big knockouts potentially, but there is a little bit of
No way I've gotten this golden seed
here. But we also have the point bonus as well, which I'm sure we'll get into once we see it. Part of the field, it's just going to be an Iono from JW here now for both card players. So all of these cards from both hands shuffled up, put to the bottom. What was the hand that we were working with, Pablo?
I mean, it wasn't anything special. Now, the last 2 cards of the Iono were the extra gimme goal and the pop, and otherwise, JW risked the possibility of getting benched out immediately the next turn. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's the gimme goal that finds other basic Pokemon with its attack, which I think is the correct call. Yeah, call for family. However, JW was at risk of having like a very underwhelming setup. Even if you can find another gimme goal, that's not gonna help you too much. But now his bench will be looking a lot healthier. We'll get that beat of down. We'll get that extra gimme goal and potentially search for one more. So all of a sudden, things are looking very good for JW.
But it was scary to get there. But hey, I mean, if you bring Golden Go to NAIC, I feel like you gotta roll with the punches, you know? You just take it or you don't. Interesting though, seeing this Bidoof here coming down onto the bench as well from JW off this Buddy Poppin.
Yeah, I mean, usually you end up getting rid of a lot of energies and cards from your hand, right?
Yeah.
And usually you also get attacked a lot with Iono or even on first step, your favorite card of the Daisy. So, Beaverall is the best defense against those two options.
Exactly. Gonna have some sort of recovery here and some way to draw into more cards to keep things going, because you need to find those item cards that are gonna recycle your energy, get them back to you, and continuously keep up this pace to take these knockouts for JW. So we're seeing the Earthen Vessel. It's another card that is fantastically utilized in this deck here, discarding that metal energy.
People call this the Midsummer Village.
Taking those energy back out of the deck. Gonna give us 2 hits here into the hand for JW. And that Ultra Ball, those are what?
But watch,
I think it was a pop.
they seem friendly.
So yeah, so pretty decent start now for the that Iono really bailing him out and really on Eli to make something happen now. Eli doesn't play any sort of bravery charm or hero's cave to help him. He's there in hand, so JW will need 5 energies next turn to be able to.
I don't like that. I don't like their little laugh.
I know.
Yeah, we're just gonna see this call for family here from this individual. So bringing the buddies to the bench now.
They do not seem
allowing
friendly.
JW to put another Pokemon, basic Pokemon, on to the bench, and that's gonna end the turn after we have a Pokemon chosen out. So then we're gonna be back over to Eli to make some stuff happen. We haven't seen this hand yet from Eli. We're working with the hand off of the Iono, plus what we'll see off of the draw for turn.
Failing the search by JW, even though he had a possibility to get a evil and the possibility to get a radiant.
So yeah, eyeing it up. But
interesting to know what the logic behind that is, because that's very peculiar.
I'm not a professional.
Yeah,
honestly.
I don't think anyone is.
I don't make it rain in my free time, so I would love to hear about that later from JW for sure. But here we go. We see Eli's turn get started here. We're working with Iono. We had the top deck, and wow, heavy baton coming down. With
Careful, there's a lot of them there.
Into the active position. This is something that is pretty smart here from Eli to take out this Bidoof, take out that potential draw engine that JW has for the future, and that can really shut down your opponents potentially. As well as, I mean, the most important part here, taking 2 prize cards off of a normally single prize Bidoof, thanks to that amputated touch. Iron being attached to it, as well as all these energies will stay on board.
Got it.
That,
do it again.
Inactive
Swing
here.
at him.
So JW over to this next turn. This is our turn 2 for JW's side. And just a couple of goals and a dream.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
I mean, honestly, this boss might have been a blessing in disguise for JW, because he had access to 5 energies next turn, but he would have needed 1 energy play and then 5 to discard. But because this energy stuck around, now there's actually
You're out of stamina.
5 energy available to him to get the return.
You can't just spam it.
His Iron Hand. So I do like the reasoning and the rationality behind taking down your opponent's potential support Pokemon. However, by knocking out the energy, you get to force them to need 6 energies, 1 to attach, 5
That's
to
crazy
discard.
how much
So,
you can't hear it.
both plays are fantastic.
Can you talk?
And,
I a little bit.
Eli had
I
no
knew you were
information
saying
on
Oh, you have them on
JW's
backwards
hand,
too.
but now with the Quake bonus, now with the Pokestop, it was still a
Spooky
team.
girl.
That's all I want to show
bit
you.
harder.
So he's hanging with me.
We're seeing this
Oh, he's
point
the
bonus
fun.
happen here off of this Goldango at X.
Wow.
Drawing a card at any point, but if you're in the active position, you draw another card. So nice casual little 2 cards here for JW, but 2 energy in the hand. Cypher Maniac's code breaking. Looks like it was debating, but it's going to come down here. So JW is going to be able to search for 2 cards. Normally this is played when you have that Beaverell, because then you just draw into the cards you search out and put them at the top of your deck. Then you get to draw into them, but Bidoof is gone. And so we're just drawing some cards at this point, but JW can still get there off of this Pokestop that is in play, depending on what is chosen here from JW, so he can still get some items, and then, of course, it's only 2 cards, but hopefully it's all 3 items once you roll that Pokestop.
And great choices by JW, choosing Earthen Vessel to be able to thin his deck out of more energies and have access to those. And then the Lost Vacuum, which is so crucial, removes this heavy baton right here and will prevent Eli to conserve energy on the board, which the first electric generator did fetch 2. However, after this goes down, there's going to be 0 energy in play.
Yeah, Heavy Baton's amazing. You always want it to stick because when it does, it works so well. But I just feel like in this format, there's so many Lost Vacuums out there. You almost have to rely on it never sticking.
Yeah.
At least for me, every time.
Yeah, between Lost Vacuum and Jamming Tower as well,
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
Brand new card
That's
from
huge.
Twilight Masquerade. It
Yeah.
has been doing the rounds this tournament. It's pretty important to shut down Bravery Charms and many other tools, including Heavy Baton. Now, top discard here for JW though needs 1 card to be lost zoned and needs 2 cards to be able to replenish the hand with energy. Does have enough, but it's going to be a costly, it's going to come at a high cost rather.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like that's always what this deck sometimes comes down to. Oh, we have the energy retrieval here.
Yeah, actually doesn't need to pay for that severe energy
Beautiful.
retrieval just yet, and will lost zone that. So that surplus difficult at this point in time.
True. It is a surplus, and now it's gone forever into the lost zone here. We are going to get that knockout. That's what we're looking for here from JW. Those energy cards being discarded from the hand. Enough damage to knock out this Iron Hands EX. Like you said, Pablo, a lot of these Pokemon, I mean, they're basics. You throw them down and you hit fast enough, but that does come at a cost of, you know, you lack that HP because you're not having to spend as much time evolving up into some beefier Pokemon. So it is a bit of a liability, especially when you see all of these resources being poured into these Pokemon, hoping to take these 2 prize cards, 2 prize cards, 2 prize cards as a prize mapping. Sometimes it doesn't work out like that. Get a little bit caught here, but Iron Hands EX is going to go down. JW now tying up the game here. 4 to 4 prize cards for each. Squawkabilly up there, ready to jump back out on that rescue board. Skateboard lift.
Our Raichu somewhere, yeah, it is there. But even Raichu needs 5 energy in play. There's currently 0 energy in play, so it's going to be really difficult for Eli to get any sort of response against that 260 HP Goldengo. Even with Zapdos, it gets with 4 energy, that's 250 damage, 10 away.
Yeah, I hate to see it when the math just doesn't add up for you. So unfortunate here, but especially when you're on a win it in here at NAIC. I mean, the stakes are so high, but Super Rod is getting played here from Eli.
By putting back that Iron Hands into the deck, and again with Damage Unit. However, it has Earth Ball with Forest Steel Stone, so perhaps a little bit of an oversight by Eli not checking their prizes too thoroughly. However, does find an electric generator, has a double Kuro, and has Prime Catcher, so can still get a 2-prize turn against one of these vehicles, but a lot has to go his way. Oh, has the ultra. Doesn't have to use the Forest Steel quite easily.
Yeah, I think we had a lot of cards come out of the deck there, both off the Arvin, and now we're playing multiple cards at once, so it's a little bit confusing there. But that Ultra Ball going to be played, discarding 2 cards into that Iron Hands EX now. Coming down onto the bench here for Eli Greenco.
Yep, Iron Hands hitting the board once again. Really needs to hit 2 energies from the generator. Did put 2 more back with the Super Rod,
yeah,
so
that's true.
Odds are quite decent. Right, but it's never 100%.
No, it really does never feel like 100%, but we'll see how it turns out here for Eli off of this electric generator. Was lucky on the last one.
There
wow.
they are. Wow. even an extra one, just
I know,
in
right?
case.
Just casual 3. I mean, you do play a lot of electric energy, but we've seen so many of these whiffs. I never believe in the electric generator anymore, but not here, not for Eli. He's gonna hit those energy nice and easy here on that Iron Hands EX.
I'm gonna have the perfect 2 cards to go with this as well. And he's gonna retreat to take advantage of the fleet-footed as he is the Prime Catcher. So very small thing, but a nice advantage he gives himself. There's a Prime Catcher, 2 more prizes for Eli, and it's on to the wall that giving goal.
Yeah.
Does have a goal single reaction. One energy away from getting another return KO, so this could be fine. But just enough, just like last year, just enough for this one.
Yeah, let's believe in the coin bonus as well. Top deck of the Beaverell, a little awkward about both Golden Go EX coming down onto the bench.
Yep.
Or sorry, onto the field, I should say. For JW, we're going to start off with our coin bonus from the active. So
Jesus,
2 cards
right there.
off of that.
That's gonna do it. Yeah, this is another superior energy retrieval can be found. There's only 1 energy retrieval. There's how many earthen vessels?
1,
There's
2,
3 total, so there might be another one still left, maybe an energy left in deck, but JW should be able to piece this return KO, which is pretty fantastic. Will tie off the prize card, and Eli might find another response. That's 5 energies for him.
Look at that Pokestop, going to give us that superior energy retrieval as well as a nest ball for JW. Beautiful.
Yeah, and I mean, now not choosing to bench that Radiant Grenade, not choosing to bench that extra Gimbal is actually looking like it's pretty much useless, like JW. At the foresight, planned for this, made sure that it was going to be really difficult for Eli to come down to 16 equivalent and no liabilities just in case Eli produced a 3rd Iron Hand.
What's in
I
here?
mean, professional Golden Go player here, Pablo. We talked about it. It's coming true here for JW. We're in the deck now off of this here. Now JW can get a water Pokemon as well as an item card. Of course, this is played to get out that Palkia in your deck as well.
Oh yeah, that is so essential. Not quite in
Or I guess
this
Radiant
match.
Greninja too.
Yeah, Radiant Greninja can potentially help just in case. It's all about just thinning the deck, right? I don't think whatever
Yeah,
Pokemon
it's not applicable
JW
here,
chooses,
but Irida is good in this deck for that. Exactly.
Eyeing up the Prime Catcher, which, like, the only way that Eli could perhaps delay JW's win would be by promoting the single prize Zapdos next turn. So that's a way you can play around it. And if your opponent Ionos you, fair enough. But if they don't, then you have essentially game in hand.
Yeah, it's coming down to this for both of our players here. They're able to kind of put things together, piece out these turns every single time it comes back to them. And so we're still seeing here from JW. Choosing different things here, but I think is going to finally make a decision what to take out of the deck here off of this Irida.
Yeah, not going to go for the Prime Catcher in the end, which is also understandable. He knows he needs more energy accessibility to be able to finish this game. Still find the Prime Catcher later. Prime Catcher doesn't matter if you don't have energy, right, to get the KO. So might as well just work with what you have and trust the prizes, trust the Pokestops, trust the coin bonuses as well to help him get there.
Exactly, yeah, those coin bonus staple of this deck. And now JW is adding up the math here. Well, first, of course, that's superior energy retrieval going to bring us these energy cards. Then we're going to add up the math here. It's 50 damage for each energy card that you're putting into the discard pile out of your hand.
What's he
so
playing?
there's
Goldango!
a ton of energy right now for JW. More than enough here to take out this Iron Hands EX.
Yep, get that. 2 more prize cards. Pretty straightforward plan for both, trying to go for 2-2-2, but now 0 energies in play. Basically nothing in hand for Eli. The boss's orders isn't even a good way to try to stall, so Eli could delay the loss by a turn by promoting the Zapdos, but getting 4 energies to knock out a Raikou, even if you found not Forest Hill Stone, electric generators, Eli Greenfield needs 2 more electric generators this turn. They each need to hit 2 energies as well, and needs the attachment for turn for Raichu to deal 310 damage this turn. There's no other scenario where Eli wins this game, I don't think.
Well, there's 2 energy in the hands here.
Actually, that Vitality Band,
yeah, Vitality Band
combined with the Zapdos does mean that Raichu now needs 4 energies for 240 damage, plus 10 from the Zapdos, plus 10 from this Vitality Band. That's 260, so just the right time, and still has that V-Star for electric generator, or rather research to try to find 2 generators. It's still a big ask, but it is possible. Now one of the electric generators, if found, can only hit 1 energy, and you can still get there.
Yeah, that is scary to see here if this is what it comes down to, Pablo. But I mean, I guess I expect nothing less from Miraidon. But it's just the Zapdos going to be brought up into the active here for Eli.
Yeah, gonna try to buy that turn. Knows that JW did, like JW showed the Prime Catcher, then changed his mind. So he knows there's no Prime Catcher in hand, but now the Irida will immediately be able to find it for JW. And as long as he has the Superior, which we know he does, that's gonna be game 1 for JW.
Yes, I think we're about to see it, but I want to see JW piece this together here, play out this turn.
Maybe there isn't. Or maybe they just asked him to shuffle his deck before he just won.
Yeah. Hey, we got to go through the motions here, Pablo. Superior energy retrieval, discarding those 2 cards, getting all the energy needed here for JW back out of the discard pile, straight back into the hand to take another huge knockout here. The lights are bright here for both of our players. Golden Go is going to take down our first game between them in this round 9. We see the plushies coming up from the crowd. Crowd, we love your plushies.
Yeah, let's hear it for those plushies. That's
let's
so
hear
awesome.
it for the plushies. I'd be out there cheering for them, that's for sure.
I want to see more plushies next time we have that shot.
Yeah, I need to just start bringing plushies to the casting desk, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, both of our players shuffling up now, getting ready for game 2 in our round 9. Honestly, I'm quite surprised how long this game lasted. It was pretty long here, and we kind of saw a consistent game plan from Eli, hoping to just take out these prize cards 2 at a time from that Iron Hands EX, but came up just short at the end of the game there, and JW was able to keep up the pace with those Golden Go and finding just enough cards to be retrieving those energy back out, taking these huge knockouts, getting that Iron Hands back out of off the field, and winning the game here in our game 1.
Yeah, and that early boss going after, the video of which was also a Pokemon that was always going to be available for Eli to get 2 prizes on, right? Once the Gimme Ball evolved, you could not go after it with Iron Hands, so that boss's orders might have been costly, but you gotta give a lot of merit to JW, having the foresight of imagining that end-game scenario and choosing to fail the Call for Family, choosing to conserve the Buddy Buddy Coffin, not bothering with Greninja, not bothering with an extra Mimikyu, to make sure that in the worst-case scenario that Eli had his 3rd Iron Hand back-to-back, there was no win condition that allowed him to pull that off, and he was asking like Eli to have more, right? He needed 4 actual energies on the Raichu, 2 damage modifiers, 4 or 5 energies.
It was a lot, yeah. Exactly. It was a lot of things stacked up there against Eli, and it just wasn't enough to come out on top here. I'm trying to think back through these games if there's anything that could have been done differently, but I feel like everything pretty much went to plan. Of course, there is a little bit of luck involved with this, or thinning your deck and trying to give yourself the best chance to hit some energies. Sometimes you just win them, but Eli had no issues with that last game. Of course, JW did choose to lost vacuum there off that heavy baton, but I mean, the Iron Hands was going down either way, so there's definitely play for both of our players going into this next match. But do you think the strategy is going to change drastically for either of them, Pablo?
Certainly not. I mean, both players want to go for the 2-2-2 prize mapping plan, ideally. A lot of energy prize for Eli, though, so might make those electric generators not be as easy to hit, and the double turbo makes it harder to do Ampere very much. And Eli choosing to go second, trying to get a sneaky early KO against JW's hopefully less than ideal start, but with that Zapdos up front, doesn't look like that's going to happen.
Yeah, it's already a little bit awkward here with that Zapdos being the active Pokemon. JW setting up the field here. We are going to see this Radiant Greninja coming down onto the field for JW, so it's going to allow us to see those energy cards hit the discard pile and draw into some more cards for more setup here. The energy these recovery cards, this energy back out of your discard pile to be able to put these knockouts, but also being able to discard them to draw into more cards. This is one way this deck kind of functions together. Bidoof is our active Pokemon for JW, munching on that log.
Very happily munching on that log. Probably not expecting a big chance to show up and take him out.
Yeah. Oh, that's so morbid. Well, we're over onto Eli's side of the field now. Nestball going to start us off, and that's all we needed to see in our game one from getting that right on out, and then that tandem units ability, so powerful, in which we talked about last game, getting all this other Pokemon out on the field and ready to start working with.
Yeah, 2 Iron Hands definitely available now. Double Iron also available as well, so you can chain those tandem units to really get your bench completely full. That 2 retreat from other Zapdos is going to make it very, very awkward to get out of there. It does have Prime Catcher as a nice with only 1 Chemical hitting the field. And you don't have to go all the way with the Iron Hands. You can maybe, if you find your Prime Catcher, take a knockout with Raikou. But then you know that JW is not going to have any sort of response because there's no other chemical that can potentially evolve.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there's only one out in the field right now. There's no recovery there as far as the attacker that we see from this deck in that Golden Go. So Eli does have some play here, potentially. Town Store is going to come down as our stadium of choice. Eli. Was it used or just rotated right now?
I think it's rotated.
Yeah, I don't think it was used. We're going into the deck here with the Arven tool card and an item card, and then yeah, I think it was still not using the Town Store. It looked like it was about to be used, but we're just in a store. We're just window shopping at this point.
And find the Squawk ability, so Eli really trying hard to go after that Iron Hands plan. Interesting that
it's on it!
Raikou bench, there's no backup Iron Hands for more deck thinning. So Eli being very careful with how he manages his bench at this point in time, but he has all to gain here by knocking out this single chemical, and he's definitely gonna work for it.
Yeah, gonna work for indeed for Sealstone coming down onto that Raichu V here. Not gonna be utilized. We're gonna see this electric generator first and hit some lightning energy.
Ooh.
All right.
Only one, which probably puts Eli in a bit of a pickle.
Did that wrong.
Of course, discard if that's the attacker of choice against the chemical. Is a 2 energy attacker available? But unless I missed the Raikou being prized, I really wish we had that Raikou on the bench.
Honestly, all the prize cards to me are just merging together at this point in time, Pablo. It's been a long day here for sure. We're going to see the Squawk and Seize now from the Squawkabilly EX. Just the Lost Vacuum hitting the discard pile. Of course, you have to discard your entire hand. Draw into 6 new cards off of that Squawk and Seize. Only able to use on your very first turn. So that's where we see the utility out of this Squawkabilly, which just plays so well in these fast-paced decks. What do you see in Pablo from his hands?
I'm not seeing a lightning energy. That's not what I'm seeing here. So now that Raichu can't even attack at this point, you can't.
We're gonna go straight first. No, I want to try it.
Lightning energy, but you can't get both. So we're gonna see a concealed card looking for a lightning energy. Though we do find generator and a lightning energy. So now this generator, oh no, because we discarded those two. Never mind. It's not gonna be possible to attack with Ampy very much this turn, but the KO on the gimme goal is looking very likely now. 2 energies now. Very nice.
Raikou is prized, by the way, Pablo.
Yep.
You called it.
Keep trying it.
You're right. Well, oh my gosh, did I just miss an electric generator for 2?
Yeah, there was an electric generator for 2 cards. onto this Iron Hands. Also have the attachment for turn still available, so he's gonna be able to arm press the Gimme Goal, no problem. We'll have that experience share as well in play, which is very, very nice.
Yeah.
Or gonna go for the Raichu.
Okay, yeah, it's gonna be the attached return onto the Raichu here, starting to or trying to keep up with how these energy are going onto the field. But that is our attached return experience there from that Town Center, also being put onto that Maridon EX as well to retrieve that energy later on in the game.
Press for knock on the Gimme Goal, and then you have the follow-up threat of the bunch. You're gonna choose to go aggressive with the Raichu. Now having easier retreating time. Discarding 2 energy from the active.
Yeah, dynamic.
Oh, it's discard all the energy. You can't choose to discard that. Either every, yeah, you have to discard. No, it says
No, it says any amount. Yeah.
Okay, very good.
Oh, because it's only. Oh no, because the Zapdos.
Yeah. It's
Wait, I'm so confused then. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, two are hitting the discard pile either way here, Pablo, from that dynamic spark off of the 5G. So 1 energy lost now. Force return, of course, is used. Last turn, JW starting off this turn now. At least that Gimme Ghoul way down the field from Eli. That's 1 prize card here. So that is going to be what we were talking about on Eli's turn, that JW is going to have to work a bit here since there was no recovery Gimme Ghoul to be able to evolve into that Golden Bow, start drawing these cards. But now, off of that Buddy combo, Gimme Ghoul out there, so maybe a little bit slower here. And he's still, I mean, the dude still munching on that log.
completely bothered by what
Yes.
happened. And yeah, now we have this equal to 1 goes down. We have backup of other.
Got options.
Off shoulders that hit the disc above the time. We wanted to beat down that
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of resources last turn for Eli. A lot of things hit the discard pile there, so I'm interested to see how the long con of this game goes for Eli Greenfell. Ebro is finally a factor as well now for us, Pablo, so that's nice to see. We're going to see JW thin down this hand here now. We have a couple of Ultra Ball as options, and a Superior Energy Retrieval as one of those options. Of course, both discard 2, but this one is getting you some energy. It's only going to be 1 that was even in the discard pile here, and it's going to be taken out off of that Superior Energy Retrieval, thinning down the hand. We're going to see a concealed cards off this Radiant Greninja now.
Yeah,
drawing into 2.
Sorry. Superior Energy Retrieval, a very good card, but not this early in the game. You want it when you have a bunch of energies in your discard pile that you can actually use to attack. Right now, that is not the case. And they only get in the way of your Industrious Incisors.
Them we're off.
Yeah, it is a little bit unfortunate to see there, but Nestball going to bring out another Gimme Ghoul here from JW's side. I mean,
a little sketchy.
JW dropping these cards here, making it rain cards on the field, Fava.
Cards, yeah. Right, so triple Gimme Ghoul out now. So JW's pretty nicely set up for next turn. Has energy to conceal cards and draw. Has Ultra to search for that Golden EX to finally start piecing out a response. And Eli's gonna only be ahead 2 prizes, so JW can definitely still keep up, because that 260 HP doesn't sound like a lot by today's standard, but it is a lot for Raiden to actually.
Yeah, that's very true. And we're going to see this adjustment incisors now from this Goofball. Going to be for 2 drawn into the hands here now. There's Ultra Ball, multiple Superior Energy Retrieval, Irda, and I think another Nest Ball in hand for JW, and it's just going to be a pass over now to Eli's side. So we saw the Raichu V attack in the former turn, Pablo, where do you think we're going to go from here as far as what's the best route for Eli to take? You know, we did see just that one single gimme ghoul. Now we have lots of options on the board from JW. What's going to put the most amount of pressure into this board state if you're Eli at this moment in time?
I mean, any sort of switching into Iron Hands to maybe take a knockout, but from Eli's hand, I don't think he has too many options right now. He has an energy to attach, but because he chose to discard 2 energies last turn off of that Raichu, he cannot dynamic spark to take another KO. There's no bench space for Luminion as there's 5 Pokemon there, so
yeah,
actually he has very few options. Has concealed cards to hopefully find something, but that's the only energy he has, so he's really good cards here.
All right, for Sealstone, which is unusable. What was the other one?
It was an Iron Bundle. Yeah, your favorite card
Oh,
just not coming into play right now, so not even an attachment
Yeah.
gonna happen this turn.
Wow, we just see the head shake here from Eli. Look at this super clunky hand. Heavy Baton's gonna come down onto the field, at least getting it out of the hands, but wow.
I have this,
Just
I
looks
guess.
so disappointed here from Eli. It's just gonna be a pass back to JW. And if I'm playing against JW right now, things are looking a little bit more scary because we haven't even seen an evolution yet into that Golden Go, but we're about to. We're gonna see this Ultra Ball discarding 2 cards here to search out our first coin bonus boy.
Yeah, first Goldengo finally hitting the field. I think, honestly, JW has completely stabilized. He lost his only Gimmighoul, but now he wasn't even under pressure the previous turn. He doesn't need to make any sort of price deficit. He can easily go 2-2-2 prizes, take 3 back-to-back knockouts. And one small thing that could go against him is that he had to essentially waste a superior energy retrieval that previous turn, but it seems like he's running on all cylinders now. Flying Earth and Vessel is able to use Industrial Incisors, will be able to draw more cards with Coin Bonus and Radiant Ninja, so he can retreat and knock out the Raichu, or potentially find his Prime Catcher A-Spec to take down the Iron Hands, find Resolve Vacuum. I mean, that's a dream, but it's not impossible. So with Eli missing an attachment last turn, he's falling farther and farther behind in this game.
Yeah, it's just, it's wild. These games have gone so long here, but it just feels like somehow these turns have slipped away from Eli, and it's all just kind of blending together here. But JW gonna do a couple more cards for this turn. Now we're going back into the deck. So that's allowing for the surge.
Yeah. They did find Odo off of that concealed cards from Pen bonus. But either way, has an Iono, but when you see your opponent not even attaching an energy and just in the body language tells you that they have a bad hand, therefore you should definitely, Iono should be the last thing you want to do here.
Exactly. You just kind of hope that it continues that way, because we've seen JW just recover and recover each and every turn here when things could have gone way, way worse. So gonna try to keep up with that pace. You don't want to disrupt, you don't have to here just because you have the card. Ultra Ball is actually gonna be used to discard now that Iono for one of the cards and draw into another Golden Go. We still saw that Prime Catcher still in the deck here from JW.
Yeah, I mean, JW could have searched for the Prime Catcher with Irida, so probably not in the back of his mind to attack this turn. His hand is, even with this turn, he doesn't have a lot of cards to really utilize, to get rid of. I would love to see him attach to the Beaverl, just retreat into a Gimmighoul. I think that would be pretty powerful this turn, as keeping the Beaverl alive. I'm pretty sure JW had given up on that, and all of a sudden, he's in a fantastic spot after a very underwhelming first turn.
Look at all the energy that we're talking about here, though, Pablo. I saw, like, what? How many do we have in hand?
There's like 2 in hand, but there might be like 3 or 4.
No, I swear, I think I only saw 2. But maybe not. I don't know. I mean, my eyes do deceive me. I am quite blind, so never trust me when I say I I see a certain card here, Pablo. But yeah, JW taking things slow here, but not too slow. Coin bonus for a bunch of draw into the hand. We see just these resources. Oh, there's only 2 in the hand here. Yeah, look.
Yeah, 2 energies.
It's just 2.
Right, 2
Wow.
energies and the
I'm not
discard pile.
blind. Wow. Wild. Yeah, so 2 in hand and 2 in the discard pile. So kind of awkward here for JW. Honestly, all these turns have been a little bit awkward here. I guess, well, B-Brawl has 1 on the field attached to it. It's just going to be an attach from JW. And then that's it. We're over onto Eli's side now, so maybe a little bit of saving grace. What did we top deck, though? Do we have anything to work with?
It was an electric generator, which is great to find energy
Yeah,
for the bench, but that Raichu's just stuck in the active after it did its dynamic spark attack. It's just not going to be able to do anything. Can't even attach a rescue board if that was available because of the force of stone. So just not looking great for Eli. We're going to see another, we could see a double energy electric generator, which is the dream, but it doesn't help that you're not going to be able to attack at all.
Yeah, I mean, that is just worst case scenario here, unfortunately. Do you think this is just like a result of choosing the Raichu in this matchup here?
Well, with the Raikou not being available, that's definitely unfortunate, but I think there was a couple of sequences that happened. It was not getting that 3rd energy onto the Iron Hands for Arm Press, and then choosing to discard an extra energy for that dynamic spark. He definitely didn't need to have the Zapdos to add damage. Can't tell if the Gimmighosts have 70 or 50 HP.
No, the one that
case, they only need 1 energy.
I was about to say, yeah, the one that was knocked out did have 70, but like you said, we have that Zapdos that buffs the damage of the basic electric Pokemon that we have in play outside of the Zapdos, so plus 10 there, so it would have been enough. It must have just been an oversight, I have to feel.
Yeah, and now the B-Brawl survived. That munching Bidoof was, it's the longest standing Bidoof I've ever seen in my life.
That's true.
Now we have 2 cards from Industrious inside, 2 more from the Steel card, 2 more from Turtle, 1 more from Code Wonder. So all of a sudden JW is going to have everything he could possibly want. And also is essentially discard fodder, as he already has 3 superior energy retrievals in his hand.
Yeah, that's essentially what we were waiting on here. It was a little bit clunky and awkward because there was only 4 cards and it was 2 energy and 2 superior energy retrieval. But now we have some options that JW can start to discard, and not only that, but Greninja is going to draw an additional 2 off of that concealed cards. I thought we already did it, but nope. We got 2 more here to the hand, so JW is going to have a lot of options here to get these energy out of the discard pile into the hand. We're going to finally see some more knockouts here on the board, Pablo.
JW is definitely planning out everything, taking his time to make sure that he's accounting for every card, debating whether to help with the focus off or not, or his opponent chooses not to. That's the card that hits the discard ball. Even has to look vacuum, potentially the heavy baton in case he needs to, but finally the knockout. Eli will be on board and potentially search for an IO. He'll be able to play electric generator, but now the right is on, and that's the only Pokemon that can actually take down Gimmighost.
That is so funny to see, Pablo. Oh, just unfortunate. Raichu's white, and
to add insult to injury, Eli just top deck.
no way!
Yeah.
It always happens like that every single time. Well, let's see what this electric generator can hit from Eli. Hopefully, no energy just yet. Oh no! Oh, okay. At least have 1 here, but still, Eli needs a little bit more luck. Unfortunately, what else do we have in the hand? Where is the hand?
There.
Oh, it's right there. Okay.
Yeah. So we do have a median, we have a nest ball, we can burn, we had iron bundle, which might have been useful if there wasn't another 260. I really think he came through. Is it worth it? JW is not going to misplay at this point in time. He knows time is also on his side. There's only been 1 game completed. He knows the time is running out, and at best, Eli is hoping to get a tie, but you're not going to get a tie when you've drawn past so many turns.
Yeah, that is very true. Town Store is going to be played here from Eli, but just to search through the deck, at this point. It's just going to be an Ultra Ball, discarding a Force Heal Stone and a Luminion.
I have 2 Great Stars now? Wait.
Nest Ball, yeah.
Nest
We're failing, we're failing.
For Mew,
Yeah.
not even gonna guarantee
Game just gives you that.
Wow.
At this point, you have enough
Ooh.
liabilities that I probably would have just gone for that Iono, make sure that JW doesn't have whatever he
Yeah.
currently has, but he's also protected with Beavrel, with Goldango, number
Exactly.
1.
Oh, dude, I could do like a
Goldango 2,
Witch.
so the
Or
odds
no,
of
Witch
JW
King, I need a
losing at this
flail.
point in time aren't good because the tower play allows him to shuffle the deck, so the 2 superior energies would be at the bottom.
Yeah.
You can immediately shuffle the deck to make sure
This
that
would
they
be a
are
fun
not
one.
at the bottom.
Yeah, you don't even have to get anything there.
Definitely
You're just
on the
shuffling
list.
up thanks to playing that card on the field. Restart is going to help us out a little bit, or did it? 3 cards in the hand now. Sealed cards.
All
because
right.
we didn't energy there. What do we got, Pablo?
Double boss of orders, which can potentially help you take down Beavrel. You get to arm press, but no, Eli's just gonna retreat into the single visor, and I generally don't know what you can do at this point. If you're not aggressive, you know, what
Yeah,
is your
exactly.
plan? Like, you can't. How do you win this game if you're not aggressive?
I know. I mean, this is just brutal to watch.
Never seen
Just
that.
pass after pass here from Eli. Was going to promote the Zapdos, then thought, well, that would also be horrible as well. So Radiant Greninja is going to be the promotion there because of that rescue board on there, allowing us to pivot here. JW having another turn here after just a pass from Eli. Just run away with drawing cards and lining up his hand. That Cypher Maniac is breaking, allowing JW to use it now really to its full effect here. Any 2 cards from the deck, you put them in any order on the top of your deck. Theoretically, you'd want to draw into them as well after that, but also the hand's pretty stacked here for JW as well.
Yeah, gonna go grab that prime catcher. Has a lot of vacuum, so move the heavy lift on with the Iron Hand, so not a single energy in play for Eli. At least tried to get those counts at this point in the previous turn, but with JW's now perfect setup, it's just impossible to do anything at this point in time.
Yeah, look at this. We're drawing cards here. We got the prime catcher now, and all of those resources that were poured into this poor little Iron Hands EX that hasn't done a single thing. Just gotten a couple of cool attachments here, and now unfortunately it's losing it all very quickly. Heavy Baton hitting that Lost Zone after, of course, that prime catcher being played by JW to bring that baby up, and now we're really off to the races here, Paul.
Yeah,
I feel like we've said that a couple times.
JW's gonna be now 3 prizes ahead. There's no way he wins this knockout. Needs 2 more energies in his hand to be able to accomplish it. We'll find them with the superior energy. Treewall has the coin bonus, has the industrious incisors. Like, you know you're in a good spot when you don't even need to use industrious incisors, when your hand is so stacked that you just can use the knockout. 0 energy in play for Eli, 0 threats available. We'll keep 1 energy potentially from the EXP share, however that is optional. So by the energies hitting the discard pile, I'm not sure if that's gonna matter, but I'm pretty sure the game's pretty much done at this point.
Yeah.
You could maybe try to stall the Beavrel in the active. That's like the one way
True, I
that
guess,
maybe
yeah.
you can deck out JW in an unsuspecting fashion, but with 1 minute and 30 seconds on the clock, there's definitely more than 3 cards.
Oh
over
yeah,
at the
that's
deck.
true. That is very true. I mean, I guess you got to do what you got to do if that's your only out here. I mean, you got to pull out all the stops. This is our winning in here, our round 9 in our day 1. Both these players trying to get into day 2, so that's what we're going to see. Boss's orders, Beavrel being brought into the active position here. JW, 2 prize cards left to take, and Silene is going to be played.
Tails, do we get a head for Prime Catcher?
Oh, you can't see it.
Double
Oh
Tails.
my gosh.
Not gonna get that Prime Catcher to immediately win the game right here.
The
Gonna
shot
take
of the tails.
2
love it.
turns to power up this Beavrel to retreat, which I'm pretty sure JW is fine with.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Super cool with that, indeed. JW has just been cruising through these turns. I mean, as soon as we saw those 3 Gimme Ghoul lined up there for JW, it's been pretty smooth sailing. And unfortunately, Eli has just been whiffing and whiffing. Oh,
All right.
Beaver
CFS
out.
not even going to try to retreat. There are
Wow.
4 cards in the deck, I think. So maybe is there ever? Oh, there's a
No,
Professor
no.
Turo in hand. So maybe
Almost.
JW was just trying to be fancy with the Silene. I mean, Silene would have immediately won from the game. This means
Oh, true.
now he can take another knockout potentially. Does have, oh, there's actually exactly 4 cards left in the deck. And will coin bonus for 2 more. There's actually 3. I can't tell how many cards are left in the deck.
Yeah, it's tough because all the sleeves kind of blend together sometimes, so it's kind of hard to count them.
Yeah, and then JW might just pass, wait for next turn, play the boss's orders, and finally
Look, Eli. Oh my gosh.
there's the boss's orders, there's the superior energy retrieval, and that is most certainly game over, knockout on either Mew or Squawkabilly,
Oh my
and JW will
goodness.
make it to day 2 of the North America International Championships.
JW pulls things off once again. We see the famous, I don't even know what to call that, the chop here from JW as the winner in our winning in here, round 9 at NAIC. The plushies are coming up. The crowd's going wild.
There we go.
JW taking a 2-0 win with Golden Go of all decks as well.
Yeah, Golden Go definitely not expected to show up even, but JW advancing to day 2, and I have to wonder, I mean, he works with a group, right? Riley Hulbert, Andrew Mahone, so it'll be interesting to see how many of them, Jesse Parker, so we'll have to see how many of them actually advance to day 2 here.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that too. I mean,
W.
it's definitely not a deck that I would have put on my caster prediction or really have on my radar, but it's so cool to see this group of players. These are very well experienced players. Everybody knows them. They're a popular bunch, and they perform well. Especially JW has had an incredible season here, already going to Hawaii, and now making it into day 2 here at NAIC.
Yeah, JW, as I mentioned, regional championship winner already. I think has another top 8 at least under his belt. As we see this replay of the early pressure from the Iron Hands in game 1, had that knockout on that poor Bidu, had a follow-up knockout afterwards. As we see the knockout yet again on the Bidu. Then we see the JW promoting. But E1 was definitely much closer. We have the backup Iron Hands coming into play with a Supra, of course, is not being utilized, but Eli just not finding the resources after JW eliminated that Iron Hands from the field.
Yeah, this was an incredible matchup to watch here, Pablo. I mean, I say incredible. I wish that things had gone a little smoother for Eli. It's kind of tough to watch, actually. Usually Miraidon's super quick, super smooth, and I feel like we saw the opposite, unfortunately, here in our rounds 9. And of course, unfortunately for Eli, trying to make it into our day 2, having to face off against JW, and JW made it rain here. All of those energy cards, all the water drops, and 1 medal. Making it rain, taking that last knockout, taking a 2-0 into day 2 here at NAIC. And what a way to end the day.
Yeah, it definitely feels good to win your last match of the day, right? Being on the edge, 5-1, no margin for error, and then you get such a solid win. That was really well done by JW. Took advantage of all the openings that he found and ran away with that game.
Yes, definitely an exciting matchup to see, and knowing that some Golden Goes have snuck into our day 2 here at NAIC. I'm sure the Golden Go fans are happy at home watching that matchup, and JW bringing it into day 2. Speaking of day 2, Pablo, we're going to be starting bright and early tomorrow.
Right.
If you thought today was intense, was super fun to watch, day 2 is going to be that much better. I mean, this is where the competition really does start to heat up. And we had tons of players, 2,600 Masters players here at NAIC, and those players are dwindled down quite a bit going into our day 2. And that's when we're going to be cutting into our top 8 tomorrow, into top 4. and getting ready for our Championship Sunday as well. So much Pokemon action here from NAIC, and I can't wait to get into the rest of it.
Like
Pablo.
a sword dance.
You also can't wait. Make sure you follow us, on
Close
all
the
our socials.
distance.
Yeah.
That way, you'll know exactly when the tournament starts, and you'll be ready to watch all the action unfold on day 2.
Yep, I think it's gonna be a whale of a time, huh, Paul?
Yeah, so I'm excited. Day 2 always has the top of the top, right? We have over 2,600 masters. That
His
means around
name has it.
270 master players tomorrow. So
You know,
probably also
Manor.
the biggest day 2 we've had so far. We'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, of course we have a lot of upcoming events and more, and in our Pokemon journey here. Definitely make sure that you sign up for some email updates. I mean, if this nice little Pikachu can't get you to scan this QR code, sign up for some updates. I don't know what can, Pablo.
I'm already signed up. I don't know about it.
Yeah, I mean, I was sold by that Pikachu, of course. Look, delivering the emails straight to you in a little box. I mean, that's gorgeous. Definitely keep up with us. Sign up for any email updates on.
Okay. Spot to go to.
Well, you're still alive.
Okay. All of his.
Well, until
Over here. Narrow path west of the Erd Tree. Let's say it's down there, maybe. Yeah, I feel like I hear it actually. Yep. Jellyfish jelly. Sick. Ash. like a giant rat.
What is thy business with these thrones? Ah, Godric the Golden. The twin prodigies, Mikola and Melania. General Radahn. Praetor Rykard. Luna Princess Rani. Willful traitors, all.
Hello again, old friend. Allow me a moment to converse with you. You are unable to enter the Erd Tree, no? Prevented by the mantle of barbs. The thorns are impenetrable, a husk of the Erd Tree's being that spurns all that exists without. The only way to stand before the Elden Ring and become the Elden Lord is to pass the thorns. My purpose serves to aid in that very act. So I'd like you to undertake a new journey with me to the Flame of Ruin, far above the clouds, upon the snowy mountaintops of the giants. Then I can set the Erd Tree aflame and guide you.
Good.
Thought you might want a little
Thank you.
sweet
I'm about to be done here in a second.
up there.
I meant like, I guess, yeah, I could like remember all that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh my gosh, I wish I knew that.
We're coming.
Not yet, buddy. Come on.
peace with that.
took you for no matter it. Lay out your arm. no matter.